Here in Michigan, this first weekend of summer, they're celebrating the 100th anniversary of the American motor car. It was 1896 when the Duryea brothers first mass-produced cars, all 13 of them. Today in the Irish Hills, 160,000 have gathered, and as it was in the beginning, so it is now. They proved their cars then by racing, a test of strength, stamina, and automotive performance. And that tradition is about to continue with Winston Cup NASCAR racing here at the Michigan International Speedway. Let's join Mike Joy with the leader of the parade to the green flag.
Ken, the cars of racing legends fill this front row. Richard Petty's car, with Bobby Hamilton winning his first career pole position. Same car you ran at Atlanta, where they run this same combination of tire compound. Is that significant to your pole run here?
Well, I think so, Mike, and also we did the tire test for Goodyear here, so we had a few laps to mess with the tire combinations and things like that, but our motor program has come a long ways, and this is generally a Ford racetrack. We had a lot of power and had a real good driving race car. It was almost effortless. I think you could have qualified it on the pole.
Let me in there. He's got the same grenade under the hood he used for qualifying in this Pontiac. It's got to go 400 miles today. Another legend, Bobby Allison, has his car right alongside Derek Cope, the driver, the same car that started second last week at Pocono. For our second story, we'll go deep in the field to the editor of Stock Car Racing magazine, Dick Berggren.
Dale Jarrett started the 1996 season out in spectacular fashion, winning the Clash and the 500 at Daytona. Then on Memorial Day weekend, he won the big 600-miler at Charlotte Motor Speedway. But last week at Pocono, during qualifying, he hit the wall, cracked his rib, broke his kneecap. He's hobbled to this race car on crutches. And the question is, Dale, can you go 400 miles today?
Well, Dick, I think that I can. I'm feeling much better this week, and we've got a good race car with this Ford Quality Care Ford Credit Thunderbird. Just want to see what we can do. I think we can go to the front at the long race. The pain that I'm in here is nothing like what my wife, Kelly, and her family are going through. Kelly's grandmother died this week, and I'd just like to let all of them know that our prayers and our thoughts are with them, and hope that everything's okay. Her grandparents were married for 72 years. Bill Paquette, you're a great man, and we're thinking of you right now.
And Dale Jarrett has a long ways to go in this race. He starts 30th, Ken Squire.
Thank you very much, Dick, and we're ready to go racing. 40 strong, perfect weather, and joining me today for this $1.5 million race is the two-time Winston Cup champion, Ned Jarrett, and the winner of this event back in 1979, Buddy Baker. And the issue when you get ready for this one is speed.
Yes, and normally when we think of high speeds on racetracks, though, we think of Daytona and Talladega, where they have banking of 33+ on those turns. Here at Michigan, the banking is only 18 degrees in the turns. The track is only 2 miles in length. But yet, Buddy, they still get higher speeds at the end of the straightaway here than they do at those other tracks.
The reason for that, they do not run a restrictor plate here. 200 more horsepower. These cars are flying at the end of the straightaway.
Well, a year ago, about where we drew the line there, Bill Elliott had some telemetry in his Ford, and we clocked him going into that turn, and you can see he got 202 miles an hour. Well, with the tires they're running today and the added technology since then, they might even run a little bit faster, which makes drafting come into play.
Drafting just like Talladega and Daytona down the straightaways, but the corners with 18 degrees banking, you know what they have to have. It has to handle.
Well, of course, that's the reason the average speed around this track is in the 180 mile an hour bracket as opposed to 190 miles an hour at the other two tracks.
Now, among those that can really handle this racetrack, some of the greatest names in stock car racing today. There you see Dale Earnhardt, 35th in both races last year, and he had a poor finish last week at Pocono, but he's still #1 in the series. And there you see the man that's currently #2 in points, Texas Terry Labonte. He's going to be awesome out here today. Looked great in that final practice yesterday. And there's the man everybody's talking about, 2 in a row for Jeff Gordon as he came out moments ago to cinch up the seatbelts. And here's the kid that blew them all away in both races here at Michigan last year, Bobby Labonte. Of course, the biggest story perhaps for many today is the story that David Hobbs is following. Let's go to David now.
Well, Cal, it's just under 2 years since this track nearly claimed the life of Ernie Irvin in a dreadful crash. After a miraculous recovery, just 14 months later, he came 6th in his debut re-entry into racing. We're halfway through the 96 season. Ernie, are you as worried as everybody else seems to be about you racing here for the first time since that dreadful crash?
Well, I'm not real worried. I'm probably pretty fortunate. I don't remember anything about the accident, just like I've been saying in a lot of interviews. And, I'm just going to be happy to get this race going and, hopefully try to get to the front.
Well, Ken, he's probably concerned about winning the race, but if you had seen him pushing his daughter Jordan down here in the stroller just a few minutes ago, he didn't look like he got a care in the world.
Sitting there live, getting ready for this event this afternoon, Ernie Irvin, and we're just about ready for the command to get this one underway.
For this event here. And now, race fans, for those magic words of motorsports, Laura Hackett, General Manager for Michigan Market Area Miller Brewing Company.
Drivers, start your engines.
Comes alive, and we're ready to go racing on CBS at Michigan International Speedway.
CBS Sports coverage of the Michigan 400 is sponsored by Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately? Texaco Haviland Formula 3 motor oil controls volatility and fights vaporization. And by Monroe Central Track shocks and struts, making the road a safer place.
39 cars have moved down pit road. The 40th car, the Bill Elliott car, just beginning to come to speed and stopping once again for a moment. There you see Todd Bodine. There was a window net problem. They got that up. I think there was something prior to that issue, and now he is away. The weather, as we mentioned earlier, couldn't ask for it better. Look at that, Ned. 74 degrees, the humidity at 63%, easy breeze. Just a perfect day, a beautiful day for a race.
Oh, you couldn't ask for better. Track temperature at 124 degrees. You just couldn't ask for better.
Starting grid for the 28th annual Michigan 400 as we're ready to go racing. Bobby Hamilton, his first career pole for Petty Enterprises, their first since 1979. And Derek Cope, for the second straight week, is up on the outside from Spanaway, Washington. In row 2, his best so far this year, Morgan Shepherd, and Mark Martin's there. In row 3, riding out of Corpus Christi, Texas, the Labonte brothers, Bobby and Terry. In row 4, it's Jeff Gordon going for his third in a row, and Sterling Marlin. In row 5, Mississippi's Lake Speed and New York State's Brett Bodine. Row 6, the 87 and 90, Michigan 400 champion, Dale Earnhardt and Teddy Musgrave. Row 7 today, Jeremy Mayfield and Ricky Rudd, the winner here in 93. Row 8, from the state of Maine, Ricky Craven and Kenny Wallace. Row 9 is Rick Mast and the 88 and 94 400 champion, Rusty Wallace. Row 10 is Dick Trickle and Michael Waltrip. In row 11, it's Jeff Bodine, a former winner on this track, and Steve Grissom. Row 12 is John Andretti and Joe Nemechek. Row 13, Jeff Burton and a two-time winner at Michigan, Old DW. Row 14 is Kenny Schrader and Bobby Hillen. Row 15, Kyle Petty and Dale Jarrett, who scored his first victory on this track back in 1991. Row 16, from Colorado, Wally Dallenbach and Ernie Irvin, his first race since that terrible accident 2 years ago. Row 17, Hutch Strickland from Alabama, Ward Burton from Virginia. Row 18 is Robert Presley and Wisconsin's Dave Marcus. Row 19, Johnny Benson Jr. from right here in Michigan, and Loy Allen Jr. And rounding out the field, Todd Bodine and Mr. Excitement, Jimmy Spencer. Every car that came qualified, and there's the breakdown. 23 Fords, 12 Chevys, and 5 Pontiacs ready to get it on. Now look at the race analysis. Pretty simple there. Yep. How much did it pay when you won it, Baker?
I don't know. I know it paid more than I would if I'd have run second.
Track analysis on this 2-mile track. 18 degrees and plenty wide. You can stack them 3 wide, but it's a little hairy at that speed of over 200 miles an hour into turn 1. 5 degrees in the backstretch to let the rain run off. Take a look at some in-car cameras here. You're riding with Mark Martin. He'll be starting in that second row on the outside, right behind Derek Cope. And Bobby Labonte, further back, is going to be giving us some great pictures out of the Joe Gibbs car, number 18.
And Jeff Gordon will be carrying a camera. Of course, he's the hottest driver on the circuit right now, 2 wins in a row.
Waltrip ready to roll. Parks America car from well back in the field, 26.
This is Kenny Schrader. I'll tell you, he's overdue, everybody. It could happen today. His car is running well.
So those are some of the in-car. And we'll get with Dale Jarrett's carrying an onboard camera today. There you are with Dale, who's got to come up with a broken rib and a broken leg from the back of the field. And we'll have some pictures out of Dale Earnhardt here after a moment or two. Pace cars coming in. Get ready. With 160,000 coming to their feet here in Michigan, we're ready to go racing. 28th annual Michigan 400 comes to the line. Belonging to Bobby Hamilton.
But look at Coach coming down on the inside. He had a run off Hamilton, but look at Morgan Shepherd. He wants to make it 3 wide going into turn 3.
Well, Bobby Hamilton just stayed in the throttle and pulled right back into the lead as he dropped off into turn 3.
New nose on that Pontiac. He says it hasn't made much difference, but some of the other Pontiac folks think that has really stabilized these cars, particularly in traffic. Right now, he leads all traffic at the end of lap number 1.
You can get such a pull off the draft here, especially about 2/3 of the way down the straightaway. If 2 cars are side by side, that third-place car can just shoot up there and shoot on by them many times as Morgan Shepherd most did.
Ken, you were talking about the nose on the Pontiac. It may not be faster. It may run longer, though, and be more stable as we go along as the tires get slick. They were fast before. We ran just as fast with the old nose here in the practice session.
Here is Morgan Shepherd moving into second spot. And the number 3 car has come up from 11th into 6th. Earnhardt's on the charge. There's Wallace moving down to the inside of his black number 2. Earnhardt scrambling as he comes up against the fight with the number 4, Sterling Marlin.
Second lap running 180.4 miles an hour.
Great run for Morgan Shepherd, but the man of the moment. First time since Bristol in 79 that Petty's cars have set on the pole, and Bobby Hamilton has put it there now with Darrell Waltrip, and he's got a problem early in the going. Number 17, a 2-time winner here in the Western Auto Parts America car, down on the bottom and slipping back in traffic. Meanwhile, up in front, divides up and pairs the 2s. Back in the prac, Wallace back in 16th spot, Mast in the number 1 in there with him.
They're picking up speed. Third lap in 181 plus.
Back up in front with Morgan Shepherd. Rich Martin's car, a whale of a ride in second place, but it's Hamilton continuing to lead as they come around. This time to complete lap number 4. And here's Dale Jarrett slipping under Schrader.
Man, he looked very strong off the corner there. Dale Jarrett moves out on Schrader some 1 car length. Now he's running side by side as they go down with the 41 car there.
That's for 20th position right now. Broken rib, broken leg, and it's not stopping Dale Jarrett. Here he comes flying. Just a week ago in qualifying at Pocono, Pennsylvania, hard wallop into the wall. Waltrip on pit road. First man in puts him back to 40th and a lap down.
Oh, that's tough. Let's go to pit to Dick Burker.
Well, Darrell Waltrip apparently has lost 1 cylinder in his car. They had the hood up, worked on it some. Sounds all right now.
Back on the track as the field roars out of turn number 4 and back down through the Big D portion of the racetrack. Look at Terry Labonte shooting the inside. He put that number 5 through his paces against Lake Speed for 9th place. Bobby Hamilton stays up in front. Last lap speed at 183. Jeff Gordon taking 3 straight pulls before they came here. And here comes that number 21, Mike Waltrip, moving up into 14th position as he goes beneath Jeremy Mayfield in number 98. Waltrip on the attack for the Wood brothers, who have won 11 races in all on this track. Look at Shepherd drops to the inside for a pass.
He got a good run coming off of turn 4 and just motored right down on the inside and moved in front of Bobby Hamilton, and that's what he wanted to do, is get him cleared before he got into the turn. Morgan Shepherd has a strong Ford here today.
See what that did, though. When they got side by side down the front straightaway, Derek Cope moved right in there in third, right on the back bumper of Hamilton. When two cars run side by side, everybody closes up.
Opens up a wide area of thin air, doesn't it?
One of the biggest stories here is that number 12, Derek Cope, on the outside of the start of Pocono last week, and the same position here this week. And what a story about a new car there, by a new name to a lot of folks. To New Englanders, it's a well-known name. We'll get back to that in a moment. Look at Cope closing into that number 12.
We'll keep an eye on it. It looked like Bobby Hamilton's car slipped a little bit. Maybe the car was a little bit loose in turns 3 and 4 the last time around, especially after the 12 car of Derek Cope came up on his bumper. Sometimes that'll loosen the car up. We'll watch him this time as he goes through the turn, as we're watching into that turn. Pretty stable that time. The time before, though, he got a little loose.
Earnhardt is up to 5th. Marlin is in 4th. Earnhardt is in 5th. Bobby Labonte 6th. Gordon 7th. Terry Labonte is in 8th. Change that. Mark Martin's in 8th. Terry Labonte back to 9th as they come by.
See Jeff Gordon there just behind this front group that we're looking at there. He's really kind of in a log jam there. He was drafting side by side with the car down there trying to get track position and get himself caught up to this lead drive. You're riding with Jeff Gordon down into turn 3. You can see the preferred line there. When you hear us talking about that, that's the dark area that you're looking at. The gray part up there is unused racetrack, and that's out of the groove.
Here's Ernie Irvan trying to move up through, and Jimmy Spencer coming with him. Ernie Irvan having to fight his way out of the back of the pack today.
He dropped back a little bit in the first couple of laps, Ken. He started in 32nd position. He is now being shown in 31st, and this should move him up to 30th there right now, but he has picked up several on the last few laps.
Although Spencer has picked up 9 positions, and you see him closing in there just in front of Hutch Strickland and number 8. Completing 10 laps this time by.
And Dale Earnhardt has gotten around Bobby Hamilton into second as Morgan Shepherd trying to move away, trying to open up some distance. But Earnhardt, I don't think he's going to have much to do with that. I think he's going to try to pull right on them.
Boy, every one of these guys that are in this points battle that you keep hearing us talk about, they won't have 5 laps for leading. So I know Earnhardt's going to try to get up there and get those 5 points for leading the lap.
You see Gordon down on the inside beneath Sterling Marlin, and that is going to stick. That'll get him up another spot in the 6th. As Shepherd continues to lead. Earnhardt is in 2nd. Bobby Hamilton 3rd. Derek Cope is 4th. And Mark Martin is 5th. Here at the Michigan 400. 28th annual. It's a dandy so far. 200 laps here at Michigan International Speedway. This is the battle for 5th spot as they continue to dice it up. And Mark Martin sprouts on top for just a moment again. He and Jeff Gordon have been at it.
Michael Waltrip directly behind him there. Bobby Labonte, who won both of these races last year. He always has a good chassis here at Michigan Raceway.
This has been a real war back there in 5th. Meanwhile, up in front, it's Shepherd, followed by Earnhardt, Cope, Terry Labonte, Martin, and now Gordon takes over a spot and pulls away a bit. Morgan Shepherd setting a tremendous pace.
There we see.
Let's go to Mike Joy.
Butch Mock owns Morgan Shepherd's car. Butch, he went to the front like a rifle shot and pulled away.
Well, you know, the Remington Fords run awful good today. You know, we had a good car off the truck here, and I can't tell you how hard these guys have worked. I feel like I got the best guys in Winston Cup racing, and the cars out front today, Morgan's doing a good job. They get to show their hand.
Now, if that black car gets up to him, should the 2 be able to pull away, or would that hurt him?
Well, I don't know. Right now, he hasn't said a word on the radio, so I'm assuming the car's pretty good, but you know, it's tough to say. You know, it's early in the race, and Morgan hasn't said much, but I'm sure he's doing the best he can.
It's pretty good right now, Tim.
Sure does. Morgan Shepherd. Take a look at this race further back. There comes that number 88 picking up again. Dale Jarrett flying beneath Bobby Hamilton. The 88 rolling into 11th spot.
Actually, he moved into 10th now. He moved around Bobby Hamilton. Hamilton has moved back to the 11th position after starting on the pole.
Well, Ken, there's nothing that makes a race car driver that has a little bit of injury feel better than to run like he's running right now. I'm sure the last thing he's thinking about right now is ribs and knees.
There's Brett Bodine and Bobby Hamilton, 11th and 12th.
Dale Earnhardt was kind of moving in on Morgan Shepherd, but it looks like he may be dropping back just a little bit now. As a matter of fact, the 5 car is moving in right now to challenge Earnhardt for second.
Yes, definitely Morgan Shepherd's pulling away, and
30-car advantage at least.
And here goes Terry Labonte by Dale Earnhardt taking over second. So Earnhardt's car maybe not working the way he would like for it to in the turn.
Well, Ned, usually when you see a car dropping back like that here at this racetrack, it means that he might be a little bit on the pushy side in the center part of the corner. You see him pull away from him just a little bit from the center to the straightaway. That's definitely a chassis problem.
1 and 3 seconds between first and second spot as Shepherd leads him down. You see Terry Labonte up into second spot. Earnhardt now back to third. Cope stays in here, and here's Ricky Rudd getting into it now, as Bobby Hamilton continues to fall back a bit in that number 43.
Well, Ricky Rudd was second place last week in Pocono, and he's got his combination really working for him right now. You see him moving in behind the number 2 car there, Rusty Wallace.
Let's go to Mike Joy.
Bobby Hamilton says his car is tight off. That means it's tight coming off the corner, doesn't want to turn. That's something they should be able to easily adjust when they make their first pit stop, Ken.
We're at lap 20. If it stays green like this, they've got some racing to do before they're going to see an opportunity to get on pit road.
Poor Morgan Shepherd has had a terrible year up until just the last couple of weeks. He had a good run at Arlington back in the spring, and then a good run last week at Pocono, Pennsylvania. Had the best qualifying run of the year here with the Butch Mock Motorsports team, and it's good to see him out front.
Yeah, he's only led 4 laps this year, but he's sure looking good now and making them up. With 20 laps complete, he's dominating. You see Gordon getting underneath the Sterling Marlin car and taking over 5th position once again. Here's the running order as of 19 of the 200 laps. Jarrett up into 10th. Bobby Labonte in that 11th spot. There you see Ricky Rudd. He's on the charge. Kenny Wallace falling back just a tad. Ted Musgrave trying to make up some time. Look at Jimmy Spencer up to 20 seconds.
Well, this is Jeff Gordon right now going by Dale Earnhardt down going into turn 1 there. This car is really coming in right now. That's what they do with these race cars. Try to get them where they're fast at the end of a tire run, not into the race.
They've run a little over 20 laps now, and so this is when you can tell how well your chassis is working as those tires get heated up and running with other cars on the racetrack. Of course, they did a lot of that here yesterday afternoon, what they call happy hour, the last practice session. But look at Gordon move in now and Derek Coates.
You can tell a car that's working real well when they go into the corner. Once they pick the throttle back up, that's where you tell when the car is really working as far as chassis wise.
Shepherd continuing to have the advantage and making it a big one over Terry Labonte in second. Now that battle continues to get a little stronger, a little further back. Here's Gordon on the inside of Derek Cope. That's for third. Terry Labonte.
Yeah, he's gaining right now. Morgan Shepherd, I think we all had the same thought at the same time.
Here comes Gordon looking for the inside. Jeff Gordon eases that trigger down on car number 24 and moves up inside. And they're even coming across. Here comes Gordon still blasting through. He's going to get himself another spot right here.
And when Sterling Marlin moved on his back bumper, that helped him in the draft to shoot right on by Derek Cope. So now Gordon is third. Fourth is Sterling Marlin. In 5th place is Derek Cope. Earnhardt in 6th.
Let's go to David Hobbs.
Well, of course, we're having a very long green flag run here, and that's going to bring 2 things to be crucial. Tires
which of course here are pretty good. The wear factor is very, very good here, but the other thing is fuel, and fuel here can be critical. If we're going to go for like a 50-lap green run, people are going to start panicking, especially the Ford engine cars, and we might see a lot of stops where, so you don't lose track position, you only change 2 tires instead of 4. So we're going to see a lot of accidents in the pits if they continue this green run for just only about another 15 to 20 laps, depending on the vehicle. Ken?
Working lap 25 as Gordon moves into 3rd, Sterling Marlin to 4th, Derek Cope staying right there in 5th for Bobby Allison Racing. Meanwhile, up in front from the Bud Blimp, great picture here of those 4 running just behind the lead pair. Morgan Shepherd in front, but Terry Labonte is beginning to give him trouble. He's pulled right up, as you see there, exiting turn 4. Terry Labonte is pulling in hard on Morgan Shepherd in that battle for 1st position. Down they come, completing 25 laps, this time by Shepherd out in front. CBS Sports coverage of the Michigan 400 will continue after this message and a word from your local station.
When it comes to roping a steer, folks in Grand Junction, Colorado will tell you that Ron Markin can ride with the best of them. And when it comes to overhauling an engine or rebuilding a carburetor, well, he can do it all. You see, when Ron's not riding a horse for fun, he's turning a wrench for a living. So he buys a lot of parts, mostly from AutoZone. Sure, there are other parts stores in town, but Ron knows that when you want the right part for the right price, there's just no place better than AutoZone.
The new Ford Taurus has people talking. Road and Track says the new V6 is a high-strung engine born to gallop. Chris Hayward said,
"I'm surprised. A car this comfortable has that much pickup."
Automobile Magazine named Taurus Design of the Year. And Ray Wells agrees.
The new shape is just fantastic.
Key Bank has a tax-deductible home equity line you can use over and over.
So finance your child's higher education.
Write a check for your daughter's wedding.
Or take that once-in-a-lifetime vacation. Key for a new America.
For motorsports updates, call 248-WTOL Category 3015.
Coming up on lap 29, the battle for the lead. Morgan Shepherd, who has 4 Winston Cup victories, 3 of them at Atlanta, 1 at Martinsville, stays in front. Terry Labonte, currently the #2 driver in the Winston Cup points with a great season here. And that Kellogg's #5 rolls up on the back door to give him another run. He actually pulled alongside a moment ago.
He got up beside of him, but what he did, he just gave him a wake-up call. Morgan Shepherd got back in the throttle, and he seems to be holding his own there.
And he seems to be able to keep his car low on the racetrack even after the tires have gotten heated up. Morgan's car seems to be working well down there, and that's a characteristic of a good handling race car.
Couple of leaders so far, but they continue the assault, swapping positions just behind them. Here's Mike.
And Ned Shepherd's handling's a little of a surprise to me. Many of the Ford drivers I talked to yesterday said their cars were the equal in downforce and speed to the Chevrolet, except when they had a Chevrolet right behind them, and then they got really loose. Shepherd seems to be the exception to the trend around the garage area. He's just fine there with Terry behind him.
Further back, and there you see Dale Jarrett closing in on Michael Waltrip. What a battle they've been having as Jarrett comes up on the inside. He sweeps underneath those cars. And now that battle, Jarrett trails the leader by about 5 seconds. Here comes #9, and that's Lake Speed in the Melling car that was so popular here. 85, 86, 87, won this race with Bill Elliott. #9 back in its old colors for this race, not in the familiar blue of the Spam racing colors they've carried all season.
You can see Dale Jarrett running right on the white line around the base of the racetrack. His car is handling quite a bit better than most of the other cars in the center part of the corner. He's strong right now.
Up to 6 as Shepherd and Labonte stay those first 2 spots. Michael Waltrip having a good run. Meanwhile, for the lead in lap 32, Labonte reels in Shepherd another time. Shepherd, who qualified 3rd for today's race, leading by about 1.5 car lengths at 185, maybe 190 as they come down here, and then they boost that speed all the way into that first turn area at over 200 miles an hour. Live on CBS, it's the 28th annual Michigan 400 today, and it's off to a dandy start. All green thus far through 32 laps of competition. Darrell Waltrip apparently has lost a cylinder, got a couple of laps down right at the outset of the event. Shepard continues to lead. There's Darrell Waltrip, back of this field. Everybody else is in the lead lap, 39 strong. With the leaders another time.
Now, Labonte went pretty high off turn 4 that time, hoping to get a run that he could either slip by on the outside or dip down to the inside. Now he's looking high again as he go into turn, and Morgan took that place away.
That's called pasturing right there. That's what he's doing. He's moving around, making him look in that mirror, trying to get him to run offline. Right at the moment, he can't do a thing with Shepard when he stays in his line. So you start moving around like that and get him looking in the mirror, and all of a sudden he's offline and you get a shot at him.
What'd you call that, pasturing?
No, pestering.
Pestering?
Yeah.
Oh. I thought he was trying to pasture him, put him right out in the weeds or something. All right, Shepard stays out in front of Marksman when he was 10 years old. He had an old Remington 22. Now, 5 days later, he's still hunting for a victory here at Michigan this afternoon and looking very stout in the early going. Labonte with that easy line. So smooth.
Trying it a little bit lower this time. That doesn't work either.
One thing you can count on, Labonte will never abuse the race car. He runs it right on the verge, but he never really abuses the car. He gets out of it what he has, but he never overdrives.
He is so smooth. But Morgan Shepard is impressive here today.
So far, so good for Morgan Shepard to go for that 5th Winston Cup victory. Long way to go in this 200-lap race on this 2-mile track. There you see some of the speed as they move down into turn number 1.
You know, for the past couple of weeks, all you've heard is the younger drivers are coming up, the younger drivers are going to take over. Right there is not a young driver, and he's running quite well today, so there's plenty of time for these guys yet.
54 years of age, Morgan Shepard continuing to lead. His best finish here ever was a 5th on 2 occasions. Looks like he might make it better today.
There's a fine line of motor oil separating your car's engine parts that's as little as 1/1000th of an inch. But friction and heat can make motor oil become volatile and vaporize, weakening its ability to protect expensive parts. Texaco Haviland Formula 3 is formulated to control volatility, fight vaporization, and provide complete engine protection, no matter what you drive.
Add more life to your car. Take it to the star.
With new spark plugs, you get improved performance for a while. But only Bosch Platinum has a pure platinum center electrode that's heat fused. So Bosch Platinum reaches its self-cleaning temperature faster for full engine power and improved fuel efficiency over a longer performance life. Which means you'll replace a lot of other things before you change your Bosch Platinums. Bosch Platinum, the ultimate spark plug.
There's something going on at Burger King this summer. Something spectacular. Something magical. Because this summer, we're welcoming some special friends from Disney's The Hunchback of Notre Dame, heroic Quasimodo, beautiful Esmeralda, brave Phoebus, lovable Hugo. Your kids can collect all 8 toys, a new one each week, one with every $1.99 Kids Club hamburger meal. The Hunchback of Notre Dame celebration. It's big, it's huge, and it's only at Burger King.
Every few years, the world gathers to witness an unparalleled sports spectacle, the Truckathlon. And to compete, you have to have a Ford Ranger 4x4, because you'll need its switch-on 4-wheel drive for truck long jump. Its 4-wheel anti-lock brakes for truck discus. And its whopping 4-liter V6 for truck hurdles. The Ford Ranger 4x4. You can't win without one.
Next event, truck pole vault. Yes!
Working the 39th lap as you follow the leaders from the Bud 1 airship. Aerial ambassador, the King of Beers, proud to provide you these shots of the Michigan International Speedway. Leaderboard, it's Shepard and Labonte. Jeff Gordon third, Marlin, Cope. Several seconds back from those 2 gentlemen running the backstretch at the present time to Dick Berger.
Ernie Irvin's wife, Kim, is doing what most of you are doing home today, watching the race on television. She's watching it from a motor home deep in the garage area. But, Kim, it was 2 years ago, the big accident here at Michigan. Are you okay with Ernie racing here today?
I don't have a lot of choice about that. But, no, actually, in a lot of ways, I feel like we're blessed to be here. Because 2 years ago, it didn't look like we would ever be at this point again. But it does bring back a lot of bad memories coming back here. And I'm very nervous watching it, but just cross our fingers and take one race at a time, especially this one.
And she's got her scanner in hand, and she's listening to everything Ernie tells his crew.
As he prepares to challenge 17th place runner Ken Schrader. Was right here in turn 2 that he had that terrible accident early in the morning in the first practice period of the day, which nearly took his life.
Well, he's gained 14 positions. He started 32nd, now in the 18th position. Moving up on Schrader. Had a run on him, but couldn't quite make the pass.
15 seconds down to the leader right now. This particular pack, just behind Irvin, is Jeff Bodine in the 19th position. There you see them, 17th, 18th, and 19th. Schrader, Irvin, Jeff Bodine.
There's some great cars back in the field like this right now, and what they're doing, they're talking to their crew chiefs right now saying, okay, here's what we need to do when we make our first pit stop. So they're really fixing the cars they're running right now.
Some of the pit stops are beginning to happen, buddy, as you speak. Here comes the 8 car of Hut Strickland. Johnny Benson is in for the second time. He was in a few laps ago, so apparently he has some problems with his Pontiac. And here goes Schrader by Earnhardt. He's dropped back in the field quite a bit since he was up in second place.
We need to find out about that story on Earnhardt as he slips back through the field. Let's go to Mike Joy.
Gary Dehart runs Terry Labonte's team, and Gary, for the last 15 laps, he's been in Morgan's shadow. Can he not pass him, or are you folks trying to conserve a little fuel?
Well, right now we're just a little bit loose. If we go ahead and pass him, all we'll be is that much looser. So right now we're just content riding where we are. We're going to work on the car a little bit and make it better next time.
And it does get better gas mileage this way, doesn't it?
I think it would, yeah.
Well, if we stay green for a long time, Labonte could be the last car to come in here.
At lap 43, we saw Hut Strickland on pit road. Here's Irvin down to the inside, getting beneath Schrader.
And while that's going on, the pole sitter is coming on pit road, Bobby Hamilton, along with Ricky Rudd. Here they come. This will more than likely be for a 4-tire change, as well as filling up with fuel.
As the field is working, lap 44, Johnny Benson Jr. with problems on that Pontiac comes back on, and look at this battle another time. Here's Ernie Irvin on the inside. Schrader is on the outside. 16th spot now, and that would make it 15th with those 2 cars on pit road. Shepard, the leader of the event, comes on pit road. Lap 44, Shepard in, green flag racing from the outset to this point. Wallace is on pit road. Earnhardt now is pitting. Mike Joy.
Ken Morgan Shepard has a routine pit stop going. They're going to the right side, finishing up with tires and coming around to the left. I think everyone will get 4 tires on this stop so they can see how their tires are working on both sides of the car. It takes a little longer that way, but increased speed on the racetrack is the result. No chassis change for Morgan Shepard. They did lower the air pressure a little bit for the right rear and got out of there in 23.2 seconds.
Watching Rusty Wallace's stop, and he's away.
Great shot from overhead there. I love that.
Kenny Wallace is in.
Derek Cope,
Jeff Burton, Bobby Hilton going out, Lake Speed coming in, Brett Bodine coming in, Ernie Irvin coming in. So it's pit stop time. Green flag racing here, but we'll see all of them being here within a few laps.
Teddy Musgrave comes in, and Loy Allen has been in and out. Dick Trickle, who's taken over the number 90 Don Levy car for Mike Wallace, he's on pit road. Craven coming in. Seeing Kyle Petty now enter the pits.
And the leader is coming in. Second and third place cars coming in.
The leader being Terry Labonte, number 5. You see him here. After Shepard gave up that front position, Labonte took over. And at lap 45, he's on pit road.
And Dale Jarrett has just taken over the lead as those came into the pits. I expect Jarrett will be coming in the next time. Routine pit stops.
There you see the 4 car on pit road. My goodness, it changed colors. Magic.
Yeah.
As you take a look at Sterling Marlin's crew in action. collected a tire, came back out.
Well, Dale Jarrett comes in, and Bobby Labonte will take over the lead. Let's go to the pits and Dick Berggren.
Well, Terry Labonte is having a very extended pit stop here. They changed the rudder in the right front of the car, and they had a long, long stop because of trouble on the right front. That cost him track position, and a lot of it.
And Michael Waltrip's car just won't fire. You see them pushing and trying to get the 21, the Wood Brothers car, back in this race. Michael Waltrip's car, to David Hobbs.
Well, I'm down in the Kenny Schrader pit, as you can see. Looks like a routine stop. They're going to do all 4 tires. They've done the outside tires, come around to do the inside. Engine still running, fuel going in. Clean the screens in front of the engine there to make sure it runs cool. Although for them, this is a relatively cool day. Pretty good stop. Kenny Schrader shaking his head there or something. Stalled the engine, pushed him off.
Trouble on the 21. The Wood Brothers, who have dominated here, won this race 6 times. It's not going to be a winner today. Bad trouble.
Ned, it looked like he might have flooded the car when he made his pit stop there, and it caught on fire. You see the fire extinguisher they used on it.
Or either ran out of gas and had to squirt gas in there that might, I don't know. Something has definitely gone wrong. A tough break for Michael Waltrip, who was running in the top 10 before he made that pit stop.
And you see it being pushed in. He had made such a great run in the points from 29th to 13th since Richmond, Virginia. Just in behind Bobby Hamilton as they started the day, and now they're being pushed back behind the wall. Ward Burton's number 22 now making its pit stop. Bobby Labonte, number 18, now being shown as your leader, and Dave Marcus comes to second.
If it's Saturday night, it's steak night. That's just the way it's always been.
And Dick Berggren.
Well, Michael Waltrip is behind the wall right now, a very dejected and unhappy race car driver. He began this episode by running out of fuel. They got some fuel in it. The carburetor caught fire. They are still working on it right now. They're going to try to get him back out, but he's many laps behind. Trouble on the racetrack.
Derek Cope in trouble.
And the caution is out.
Cope's car going up. He was running in 4th position in that number 12. We mentioned earlier, this is the car that is built by Steve Levitt, kid out of Maine, and it has a unique suspension system, and it's worked for 2 weeks to put him outside of the front row. Let's get down to Mike Joy.
Ken, but I think the problem was under the hood. Derek complained when he came in on the pit stop that the car was running hot and may have let go. Steve Levitt, you mentioned, for Maine, came out of the Hendrick organization for 4 years. Before that, he ran his own parts business. Said, I wanted to try some things here. They wouldn't let me do it, Hendrick. This is the first car he's built completely, and Derek loves it.
And, of course, his dad, Steve Levitt, the guy that built this car, was Gardner Levitt, who followed racing in northern New England. Gardner Levitt was the geezer from Keza Falls, Maine. June and Gardner Levitt, 2 of the most respected people in northern New England racing. And their boy built that car that went outside of the front row. Motor in trouble. Keith Allman's going to be scratching his head about that one. We'll be back in a moment.
On the battleground called motorsports, no one can claim success like Ford. Because no one races and wins in more places than Ford. But have you seen what we're doing with all the winnings?
Making it to the pros takes a certain level of excellence. The experience to get the job done right and a reputation for quality. Having what you need on hand, putting the parts together for the best possible performance. Being in the pros takes a special brand of confidence, and for professionally trained technicians, that confidence is CarQuest. CarQuest, welcome to the pros.
NASCAR, where fast means fun. NASCAR, where fast means fun. NASCAR, where fast means fun. NASCAR, where fast means fun.
Speedway Speedway under caution for the first time today after Derek Cope's Bobby Allison car erupted in smoke and brought out the yellow. Let's take a look at some of the action from yesterday. First of all, we'll go to the truck race. It was held over at Bristol, Tennessee. Wow, what action they had there last night with the Craftsman NASCAR trucks, and that is Mike Bliss, who rode the entire main straightaway on his side, then slid down off that 36-degree banking. And look at the number he did on the fence. He tore off the right front wheel on his car, and he really tore up that track. Now there you see Rich Bickle, who was on his way. It looked like he was going to win for the first time for Chrysler in years last night. Didn't work. Watch this. Resendez in the number 7 working on Carilli in number 6. But at the line, give it to Rick Carilli, Denver, Colorado, his first win of the season. At Myrtle Beach yesterday, the Grand National cars were in competition. And there you see Dale Jarrett Jr.
Earnhardt Jr.
I was bound to do that today. Earnhardt spinning. He got tapped.
Yep.
Anyway, he gets it righted around and got himself back in there. When it was over yesterday, David Green had himself another victory. Randy LaJoie was well down in the standings. He'd won a couple in a row, and good scramble up in front as they get ready for Watkins Glen, New York next weekend. CBS will take you there. David Green victorious yesterday at Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Hey, don't forget, big Sunday doubleheader on CBS next Sunday, 12 o'clock at Watkins Glen. We'll have Dale Jarrett there, as I understand. No, he's not going to be there next week. I was thinking about not going to be there. We'll have that first, the Grand National race, and then go off to Nazareth, Pennsylvania with the trucks. 2 big events, one day, next Sunday on CBS. Take a look at the 7 and 87 down here a few moments ago. They were having a little caper. See what we see here, Baker.
Well, there's Nemechek coming in. Out comes Bodine. They almost hit.
Yeah. Now down here by the number 43. Picked up a little tire and moved it along, helping out. Is that Rusty?
Rusty probably said, I wish you guys wouldn't do that. Are you kidding me? I could hear him up here almost.
Okay, we're getting ready for a restart here. There are still 33 cars on the lead lap. And most of the cars did come in for topping off of fuel, excepting Bobby Labonte. He had just stopped a lap or 2 before the caution came out. He ran 50 laps on his first tank of fuel. That leads me to believe that his crew chief, Jimmy Maycar, is going to run him 4 50-lap runs today. That's 200 laps. That's the end of the race.
57 laps complete as they take the flag. Bobby Labonte in first. And showing Marcus in second, Gordon in third, Shepard in fourth, Mark Martin fifth, Rick Mann sixth, Dale Jarrett seventh, Ernie Irvin in eighth as they get ready to kick them out. And they're back down to the line as they scoot into turn number 1.
Well, Dave Marcus made a pit stop just as they were coming around to get the 1 to go, so he dropped back, and
up 1.
Jeff Gordon just flew into the lead around Bobby Labonte.
Great start there. You would almost have to think that Bobby Labonte started pushing off the corner there and had to get out of the throttle the way he picked up 4 or 5 car lengths off the corner there.
I would agree with you. Here's Morgan Shepard coming down on the inside of Bobby Labonte. Sterling Marlin. Let's see if he'll follow the Ford or the Chevrolet. He'll follow the fastest car probably, which is Morgan Shepard right now.
Second place battle with Mark Martin further back.
Man, that makes me homesick right there. I want to just jump in one of these and try a couple of laps anyhow.
Mark Martin, that Valvoline car, falling further back. Now he gets it going again beneath Loy Allen, but he fell back about 3 or 4 spots on that start. Johnny Benson Jr. back on pit road. That's his 3rd unscheduled stop, and he may be taking it back behind the wall.
No, he went back out on the racetrack
again.
They are pushing Derek Cope's car behind the wall.
Johnny Benson's father, Benson Sr., drove in his only Winston Cup race here way back in the 70s. Dale Earnhardt's race cam.
Looking at Jeff Bodine in front of him, and here comes Robert Presley on the outside of him.
Pack racing in turn number 1. Gordon staying in first. Bobby Labonte right there, and Shepard the front 3. Mark Martin makes it a foursome. There goes
Dale Jarrett in the 88 on the inside there. Michael Waltrip lost several laps a while ago when he had a problem with restarting the car after a pit stop.
He's being shown as 8 laps down right now. Boy, that was a tough break for him.
3 wide. They come back to the line. This for 3rd spot, a 2nd, 3rd, 4th spot, actually. Shepard jumping back out in front. Gordon going into 2nd.
See Michael Waltrip right there in the 21. He's towing some of these cars along right now. They closed in on the 2 lead cars, about 4 car lengths in the last lap around here.
Back with the program, Michael Waltrip for the Wood Brothers. Ducked a bullet a little while ago in this event. He is running. And look at Dale Jarrett come on up in 4th. Now Sterling Marlin comes back after him again. From Dale Jarrett's.
If they aren't careful while running side by side, those lead 3 cars will get away from them.
Still even going down into turn 1.
Whoa, baby, that was close right there, but you see Sterling Marlin, they fall in line now, trying to run the leaders back down. Side by side, you lose about a 2nd a lap around this racetrack.
With Dale Jarrett back down on the inside as he scoots up through for 4th, and here are those front 3, and Michael Waltrip making his move another time. Tries to get some ground back here. Here's Mike Joy.
Well, Ken, several teams on the last round of pit stop tried to improve the handling. Dale Earnhardt, Mark Martin, and Ted Musgrave each added a round of wedge. Bobby Hamilton's crew took the time to add half a spring rubber to his car like this one. It prevents that coil in the left front spring from compressing more than this much and raising the effective rate of that spring by about 30 pounds. They're trying to cure that problem, where Hamilton says the car is tight coming off the corner.
Look at Michael Waltrip down lap and still fighting his way. He's going to get a lap back here the way things are going.
And Gordon is passing Morgan Shepherd. Yeah, I said a moment ago that Michael's being shown as 8 laps down. Now he's only being shown as 7, but he'd like to get one of those back.
Now, Jeff Gordon, if he has a strong car right now, he's in the position you want to be. Out front, not back in this log jam that you see just behind him. Cars running side by side, lose a lot of track position to the leader.
Here's Dick Bergman.
And as you look at where the cars are running on the racetrack, you have a pretty good idea where the guys around me did on that last round of pit stops. Sterling Marlin took gas only, didn't touch his tires at all. That gave him good track position. Ricky Rudd took 2 tires. That put him a little bit further back. Terry Labonte took 4 tires. That put him much further back. Ricky Craven took 4. One of them had a vibration. He came back in again, took 4 more. He wound up all the way in the back of the pack.
Some of those drivers had pitted like 6 or 7 laps before that caution came out. Some of them had only pitted 2 or 3 laps before then, and so I expect those that had been out there the longest on their new green flag pit stop tires were the ones that chose to take on 4 tires during this one. Maybe they didn't like the set of tires they had on, and that was a good opportunity to change them.
See the line Dale Jarrett's taking low there. He's making it work on the bottom side of the racetrack where nobody else can run right now.
Only one down there. Ford Quality Care car working its way up to challenge these 2 leaders. Just blowing them off as he goes looking for Gordon and Shepherd.
He's got to get around around Michael Waltrip first.
If you're just joining us, we've had...
I'm sorry, that was Sterling Marlin that just got back around him. So.
If you just joined us, we're now 55 laps in. Caution for Derek Cope when his car went away. Had Bobby Hamilton on the pole at the start, with Mike Joy and David Hobbs, along with Dick Berggren down to the pits. Ned Jarrett, Buddy Baker along here on the top side. Watch the events. Ken Squire, hoping you're going to enjoy the Michigan 400 today. Scramble up in front for the lead. Gordon, Jarrett, Shepherd, Martin, Bobby Labonte. They've been duking it out up here in front, and for the moment, Gordon has the advantage.
Yeah, he's trying to pull away a little bit. I tell you, a big winner on that pit stop situation was Ernie Irvin. Ernie's up there in 6th position right now and running right with them.
If anything, gaining some ground on the lead car. It looks like Ernie Irvin's really running well right now.
Take a look at the interval there. Sterling Marlin bouncing right back into this one.
There's Jarrett trying to come off turn 4 down on the inside of Marlin again, but couldn't make it work that time.
Marlin, winner at Talladega. Ah, yes, indeed. There's a happy fan. As Gordon jumped out by about another 4 car lengths going into turn 1. CBS Sports coverage of the Michigan 400 continues after this message and a word from your local station.
Goodyear AquaTread revolutionized wet traction design. Now Goodyear introduces the first tire with a lifetime tread life warranty. The new all-season InfiniTread. Its tread is guaranteed for as long as you own your car. Call 1-800-GOODYEAR.
Right now, get a $40 introductory manufacturer's rebate from Goodyear when you buy 4 InfiniTread radials, Goodyear's longest wearing passenger tire. That's $40 on 4 Goodyear InfiniTreads. But hurry, this Goodyear offer ends soon.
Looking for that perfect golf package? Absolutely, positively. CBS delivers right to your home the FedEx St. Classic. Make it a priority next on CBS.
This is CBS.
The summer savings event is heating up at your Northwest Ohio Ford dealer, and the deals are hotter than ever. Get 2.9% financing or $600 cash back on Ford Contour for the all-new Ford.
What happened out there? Well, unfortunately, you know, it's been a tough day for the Badcock Pilot Ford. We've had a piston go away in the thing, and obviously we're not going to get to the end.
The Steve Levitt car qualified second at the last 2 races and run really well at both of them. This must be pretty good for the rest of the season.
Well, we're very optimistic. You know, the cars perform well now on a flat racetrack and now at a banked oval high speed. So it's showing great characteristics. We're going to have to go to Indy tomorrow and spend 3 days testing it and see if we can't get a little more out of the old girl.
Well, there's a guy who's very optimistic considering he's going home at before 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah, 6 DNF of the season. That's tough on that Bobby Allison team, but I think things are coming better for them. They sure got off to a strong start here, starting outside of the first row. Gordon continuing to lead. Now look at this battle developing for second place as Shepard and Bobby Labonte get into it.
Well, Bobby Labonte has been on a march right to the front since that pit stop. Whatever they did to this car has really made it good in the corners. You can see he's just flying through the corners. See him behind Morgan Shepard there as they head down towards the front straightaway.
Yeah, it's a definite improvement over his first run. He was still in the hunt, but he was back about 7 seconds before they made their green flag pit stops. Went longer than anyone else. So they got good gas mileage here. In fact, he won one of the races here last year strictly on gas mileage. Ran good all day, but that gas mileage is a key factor here.
Take a look back here at car number 90. Junie Donlevy has put Dick Trickle in the chair there, and he has pulled that car up into the 10th position from the outset of this one.
He's going to be in this car for the rest of the season also. We found out this weekend. So Dick Trickle's a real talent. Did you see him running just behind Jimmy Spencer coming off the corner?
Mike Wallace was released, and he immediately went right out and won that ARCA race up at Pocono last week. Run for Mike. Here's Dick Berggren.
As Ernie Irvan motors forward on the speedway, his crew is doing their homework. This is the lap that they took tires, lap 45, 54. They took fuel. They went racing on lap 57. But Larry McReynolds, the real question is, how did you guys manage to get so far forward so fast?
Well, the car was a little off in the beginning. We was moving forward, but he still needed some adjusting. We made some adjustments at first stop. Run about 7 laps. Goodyear's brought a great tire here to Michigan. So only running 7 or 8 laps, track position is so important. But as you was looking, fuel mileage is, we gassed only. That puts us where we maybe can run with the Chevrolet to being on fuel mileage.
What a great comeback run so far, Ken Squire.
From well back in the field, Ernie Irvan up to 5th. Had a hard day at Pocono last week, but he sure is looking strong right now, Ned.
Yes, he is looking very, very good. He moved around Sterling Marlin a little while ago. Hasn't been able to move too far away from him, but he does have a couple of car lengths lead over Sterling.
And right behind him, Mark Martin, Rusty Wallace now in 7th, Ward Burton to 8th. Jimmy Spencer from that very last row now in 9th position.
Well, that's quite a run. But now his qualifying speed and position was not indicative of the way his car was running. On his qualifying run, Jimmy Spencer got very high up in turn 4 and almost lost the car. So that's what put him back there. He had a much better race car. He would have been in the top 20 at least, or maybe the top 15 had he not maybe tried a little too hard. Might have been trying for the pole.
Mike George.
Speaking of top 20, Bobby Hamilton took this restart about 36. And Ken, he's come to 20th position. The adjustments they've made on that chassis have really worked. But from where he is and where he restarted, still a long way to the front. But watch for Hamilton coming fast.
There he is right there in the number 43 under Bobby Hillin in the 77. We still have 33 cars in the lead lap. We have 76 laps complete. Bobby Hamilton back in 18th position.
Bobby Hillin just come very close to putting his sponsorship name right on the wall coming out of turn 4 just now.
Bobby Hillin in the car number 77. This car's been running better in recent races, too.
The 33 there, Robert Presley, is just getting over some injuries that he got earlier in the year. He ran super well in Pocono last week. Love to see him move up in the top 10 today.
He broke some ribs in the practice run at Charlotte last month.
Freshman here. Take a look at Jeff Gordon. Jeff, having a great day, has now led 11 of the 14 races this year. Pretty good race back in here for 5th. You see Bernie Irvin in that 28.
104 makes it even, though. All right, if we went back racing at 57 plus 46 plus
Larry McReynolds talking to driver Ernie Irvin. Sterling Marlin in 6th. They're doing their arithmetic out there.
Yep, figuring out the gas mileage should this thing go green the rest of the way.
Rusty Wallace, number 2, in that 7th spot.
Here's Spencer, Dick Trickle, Lake Speed, and Jeff Burton.
9th, 10th, 11th. Back with the leaders, and you see Gordon, who's now led over 1,200 laps this season. Closing down on those 2 leaders in the points. Earnhardt, who had a disastrous show at Pocono. First DNF in a lot of races this season.
You know, if I was a spotter right now, I'd have to tell them to kind of look where Dale Jarrett's running on the racetrack, because he's making enormous gains on the lead cars by running a totally different groove through the corner.
And Ernie's spotter is his dad, Vic Irvin. And I asked Larry McReynolds this morning if the 2 cars were set up basically alike, because both of them looked good in practice yesterday afternoon. And he said, yes, they're basically alike. Said, we got a little different shock absorber combination. But other than that, he said the cars are pretty similar.
There you see him. And he is moving. He is closing.
Look how low on the corner he's running right here. A full car length down from everybody else. He's getting tremendous bite up out of the corner also.
Well, buddy, this is the car that Dale Jarrett won the Coca-Cola 600 with at Charlotte a few weeks ago. And that was the style that he ran then. Very low on the racetrack. Shoot it off the corners, especially after the tires would get heated up. And so I'm sure that that's where the car likes to run. That's where he likes to run. So, you know, whatever works.
Broken rib, broken right knee, right up there in 4th place, Dale Jarrett. David Hawes.
Well, I'm down in the pits with Junie Dunleavy, who's been doing this racket for 36 years now, and you were taking on not such a young driver who's doing a real good job this afternoon. Dick Trickle's up to 11th.
Yeah, we're real proud of Dick. He's doing a good job. He's still hollering that it's pretty tight out there. But we missed the afternoon practice, but he's doing pretty good, and I like my Ford's running pretty good today.
Why did you miss yesterday afternoon's qualifying practice?
Well, Dick had to go down to Myrtle Beach. He had a commitment down there, and he did a pretty good job yesterday morning, but maybe we should have run a little bit yesterday evening, but we're proud of him right now.
Well, I drove for Junie Dunleavy here just 20 years ago, and if you add Junie's age, my age, Dick Trickle's age, and Buddy Baker's age, it reaches right into the 3rd millennium, and all of us seem to be doing okay so far.
Well, he talked about not getting that last practice yesterday. The racetrack was in the nearest to race conditions at that time. The temperature would have been more similar than yesterday morning, plus the fact there was an ARCA race here yesterday afternoon, and after that race the track changed a little bit, so they didn't get to see what the track was going to be exactly like. Look at Earnhardt down on the inside of Jeff Burton. Boy, do we have a race right here.
10th spot. 10th position is what they're gambling at the present. This all happening at lap 84, folks. Stay with us.
What do you get when you cross a high-quality conventional motor oil with an advanced formula synthetic? A revolutionary oil that protects better than regular oils, yet costs less than full synthetics. DuraBlend from Valvoline. Valvoline's the #1 choice of top mechanics.
There's no place I'd rather be.
I've seen every card there is. Thousands of cards. Super 8's VIP card. It says, congratulations, your reservation is guaranteed, and you get 10% off. Life's great at Super 8.
The most rewarding relationships are the ones that grow with time. It's the same for those of you who choose AT&T, because you understand that the true rewards only come from a lasting relationship. Introducing the new AT&T True Rewards program. Rewards you can get right away, every day. It's our way of saying thanks just for being an AT&T customer. The new True Rewards program. It's one of the rewards of a lasting relationship. That's your true choice, AT&T.
It's 400 miles of rocky, rutted trails with enough bumps and jumps to shake a truck to pieces. But if you think an endurance race through the Arizona desert is a real torture test for a truck, just imagine what it can do to a battery. That's why Parker 400 winners Dan Smith and Dave Ashley chose a battery they could depend on to go the distance. The Duralast battery. The same Duralast you can depend on for your car, because it's the one we stock at AutoZone. The Duralast battery. Power you can depend on.
This week on Dave, Cher, Shaquille O'Neal, Luke Perry, Blues Traveler, Conan O'Brien, Jerry Van Dyke, Jimmy Buffett, and Michael Keaton. All this week.
Coming up next, CBS Sports takes you to Memphis, Tennessee for live final round coverage of the FedEx St. Jude Classic. That's next here on CBS Today. John Cook is the leader. You believe this? He's now 25 under on the second hole.
Wow,
man.
I tell you, that's amazing.
Tim Cook's kid.
I watched some of that yesterday afternoon, and it was just a pleasure to see a man in action playing that golf course the way he was.
He almost became a racer. His dad, of course, was with Parnelli Jones for years. I think his mom was just as happy he took to the golf course.
I can imagine.
So Jeff Gordon has the advantage by that much. Bobby Labonte, Shepard, and Jarrett right there behind, and Shepard still holds on to that spot. And for more on Jarrett right now, back there in fourth spot, here's Dick Berger.
And you may not know this face yet, but you're sure going to know it, because right now, percentage-wise, Todd Parrott is the most successful crew chief in Winston Cup racing. He's got 3 wins and only 15 starts. But our question to you is, how is your driver feeling, Dale Jarrett, out there right now?
Right now he's feeling pretty good. I mean, obviously he started 30th and he drove to 4th. You know, the car's a little bit tight up off the corner right now, but we're going to adjust on it a little bit more, and hopefully we'll get this thing right by the end of the race and put him in victory lane.
Not too worried about burning up gas running this fast?
No, I mean, if you want gas mileage, I guess you buy a Honda. Something like that. No, we've had a couple bad weeks, and we just want to come out of here with a good, strong finish and get ourselves pumped up, go back to Daytona, and see our cars sitting down there in that museum.
How about that, David Hubbs?
Careful what you say about Honda.
There you see it, 110 to go, near the halfway mark. You're watching Shepard in the number 75 in second, followed by Bobby Labonte. And then Dale Jarrett in the 88, closing down again. Broken leg, broken rib, and just ripping that car around this track. He gave up a golf scholarship, Dale Jarrett, to stay in racing years ago when he was a few years younger. You ever wish he stayed in golf?
No, not really now, but I wondered at the time. I really did. I tried to steer him that way.
Hard to steer?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, once he got behind the wheel.
A little loose out there?
Yeah, you had to know that that's the direction that he would head in.
Mm-hmm.
As we see so many, sons following their footsteps in racing. Buddy did, followed his dad, Buck Baker, great Hall of Fame driver. And you just see it everywhere, you know, the Allisons, the Pettys, and it just goes on and on. And once they grow up in this business, it's hard to get them away from it.
Well, it's something you feel comfortable with, isn't it? Now take a look here as we watch Ernie Irvan getting up with Rusty Wallace to do a little dicing. That's for 5th spot.
Yeah, Rusty trying to take it away from Ernie. Looks like he has it.
Former winner here, Rusty Wallace, would love to have that number 2 performing in victory lane at the end, doing a little victory dance for Roger Penske, the man that owns this track and that team.
You could see Rusty move right over as soon as he got by Ernie Irvan then. The reason he did that, the spotter up here said, okay, you're clear. That let him know he could move over with not worrying about looking in the mirror. He knew he had him cleared.
They're running about 3 6/10 seconds behind the leader, Jeff Gordon. So they figured maybe Rusty might be able to pull that duo a little bit faster than Ernie was, and so they switched it up.
He only qualified in 18th spot. But Wallace definitely was running very well in that fast hour yesterday. Labonte looking at Jarrett. Jarrett looking at Labonte on our CBS race cams here.
Okay.
Pretty good.
Bobby Labonte's in the best position. He's looking back. Dale Jarrett.
Well, you heard that Dale Jarrett was running real tight in the corners, getting off the corner. That really kills the speed down the straightaway on that particular car. Until he gets the car balanced out a little bit better, he's going to lose a little bit of time getting off the corner to Bobby Labonte.
And they're going to have a chance to do that before too long, buddy. They'll have pit stops coming up in the next 7 to 10 laps.
3rd and 4th, peering at each other here. Say, don't forget next Sunday, big doubleheader here on CBS. Those dandy trucks are going to be in Nazareth, Pennsylvania. That's a great show, and we'll be at Watkins Glen with Grand.
Caution is out.
We got caution out for the 2nd time. They say there's a piece of debris down here in turn number 1, so they're going to put the flag out. Get some of the safety crew out here as they race back to the line. Jeff Gordon has them covered. Morgan Shepherd next, Bobby Labonte, Dale Jarrett. It'll be Rusty Wallace, then Ernie Irvan. Rusty's in 5th, Ernie Irvan's in 6th. Sterling Marlin 7th, Ward Burton in 8th, Dale Earnhardt 9th, and Lake Speed in 10th, the top 10 with 32 cars still in the lead lane.
The loads are getting heavier, and the stumps are just getting more stubborn. You're working harder than ever. You need a truck that does too. Meet the all-new 1997 Ford F-150. Our new Triton V8 cranks out even more power and torque. Our V6 out-muscles every standard truck engine in its class. And the first scheduled tune-up's 100,000 miles away. After all, the road's not getting any shorter. The new Ford F-150. Strength after strength after strength.
There's something going on at Burger King this summer. Something spectacular. Something extraordinary. Something exciting. Something magical. Because this summer, we're welcoming some very special friends from Disney's newest movie, The Hunchback of Notre Dame. Heroic Quasimodo. Beautiful Esmeralda. Brave Phoebus. What a woman. Lovable Hugo. All your favorites from this classic adventure. Your kids can collect all 8 characters. A new one each week. One with every great-tasting $1.99 Kids Club hamburger meal. Come for the toys. Come for the food. Come for the fun. There's a party going on, and you'll want to get in on the excitement. All right, all right. Experience the action and thrills of Disney's The Hunchback of Notre Dame in theaters. And join the celebration. It's big, it's huge, and it's only at Burger King.
Goodyear AquaTread revolutionized wet traction design. Now Goodyear introduces the first tire with a lifetime tread life warranty. The new all-season InfiniTread. Its tread is guaranteed for as long as you own your car. Call 1-800-GOODYEAR.
Right now, get a $40 introductory manufacturer's rebate from Goodyear when you buy 4 InfiniTread radials, Goodyear's longest wearing passenger tire. That's $40 on 4 Goodyear InfiniTread. But hurry, this Goodyear offer ends soon.
This CBS Sports Race Summary is sponsored by Goodyear, #1 in tires.
Moving toward halfway in this event, leaders, 6 of them Lead changes 10. The average speed at 165 miles an hour. Had a couple of cautions for 8 laps. One for Derek Cope. Lost the engine in his car, and just now we had a bit of debris down here in turn number 1. All the leaders, the entire field has been in, taken on some fuel. That's going to change the formula on how this race works out as far as fuel needs.
Yes, this caution came just about 5 or 6 laps too soon. We're not quite to the halfway point now, and they would rather it had been there so they can make it on one more pit stop. Now, here are the cars that are 1 or more laps down coming into the pits, but there might be a few cars out there that can stretch it from here with 1 more pit stop, but I don't think there will be many.
I think that graphic said 200. We're at 197 right now. We're a couple of short laps away to that halfway mark in this thing.
Yes.
Working 98 as the field is. The front of the field has, for the most part, pitted, and now you see some further back. I see Ricky Craven. Here's Darrell Waltrip, we mentioned earlier, just joining us. He's a couple of laps down, had some problems. Here's Dick Berger.
Well, at this end of the pits, the Robert Yates cars are pitted almost side by side, so it's pretty easy to keep an eye on them. Both of those cars are pushing a little bit, both Dale Jarrett and Ernie Irvin, and they made adjustments on the last round of stops to try to solve that. Both teams changed air pressure, but the 88 Jarrett's team also changed the track bar. The 28 Irvin's team changed the wedge on their car, both trying to get a little bit better handling.
Dick, we had a report up here that maybe Jeff Gordon is going to have to come back in. He got back out first on that pit stop, but he might have a loose lug nut on his Chevrolet. We'll see when he comes back around, but that's what a report from one of the spotters.
And talk about track position, that would put him back to 32nd slot. He'll have some hard racing to do if that's true. Here's Mike.
They said that one of the tires on Gordon's car was missing a lug nut. There were 5 on each wheel. They got 4 of them hammered home, and apparently one was not. The NASCAR inspector noticed it, and they're going to bring him back in. Mark Martin added 1 round of wedge. Morgan Shepherd added half a round on his car, and Dale Earnhardt, who had blistered a set of tires earlier, was dropping. They were dropping the air pressure 1 pound all the way around. We're waiting on Jeff Gordon to come down pit road. Ray Evernham and crew here. He rolls into his stop, and they're just going to top off the tank since he's here, add the 1 lug nut onto the left rear. It won't cost him any track time, but it'll cost him all that track position.
Put him back in 32nd position. Hey, Mike, you had a story a moment ago that Morgan Shepherd may be blistering his feet in that car 75.
He told Butch Mock that it was awfully hot in the car. Of course, they were running up in front, and, you know, as any driver knows, you don't feel it as bad when you're up in the front, but Butch said he was going to be okay, going to stay in the car, not require any assistance or relief.
But they were looking for an ice bag.
That's correct.
Be painful on Monday, huh, buddy?
Oh, boy, I tell you, that's a working part. When your foot gets hurting like that and you're using it on the accelerator on this racetrack, you hardly ever take it off the floor.
You got to keep your feet in the fire. Here's Dick Berger.
Well, Jeff Gordon has had anything but a nice weekend so far, Ken Squire. Already he has had trouble with a transmission that seized up on him during qualifying. His qualifying engine let go just after qualifying, and they have been having a hard time getting a hold of the racetrack with the tires, according to crew chief Ray Evernham. So it's not been a fun weekend.
There you have Jeff Gordon's view from 32nd position, but as they come down on a restart, you will have Ricky Rudd, who was in that terrible crash a year ago, about 10 laps into this event. Rudd leading with Bobby Labonte second. Rusty Wallace will be in third. Ward Burton fourth. Sterling Marlin fifth. Morgan Shepherd, Lake Speed, Mark Martin, Ernie Irvin in ninth. Dale Jarrett 10th. Trickle 11th as they come back under green. This at lap 99. 1 more lap, and they will be halfway.
As far as the halfway challenge is concerned, they have to run 5 laps under green to qualify for that.
You see Ricky Rudd taking the lead there as they start down the back straightaway.
Well, we understand that Loy Allen maybe got on the gas a little too early. We'll see if they're going to black flag him, but he's been posted at least as having started a little bit early. He's right there behind Ricky Rudd. Loy is a lap down, I guess.
Halfway. He was just on the tail end of the lead lap.
And he is indeed getting the black flag.
That's
tough
too
break
bad
for him.
Yeah, he's driving hurt. He indicates he got the nod. Pulling down a bit here. Ricky Rudd commanding the 28th annual Michigan 400 here live on CBS this afternoon. Gets himself a pretty good jump off that corner. And Bobby Labonte is the second place car, sandwiched in between a couple of lap cars. I think that's Darrell Waltrip that may be in that group. Loy Allen dropping back off the pace. Up in front, Ricky Rudd with command of this thing down the main straightaway. There you see the advantage.
You see the 2 car there. Wallace has moved in the second there, coming down the front straightaway right behind Ricky Rudd as they head off into turn 1. Look at this, Ned. I'm telling you, it's a close race.
It really is. In fact, Dick Trickle pulled down in front of Dale Jarrett. They were 3 wide there, almost caused a big wreck right here on the front straightaway. Jarrett had started to shoot up on the inside. Trickle didn't know he was there and shot up into him. They actually touched.
Loy Allen is on pit road. Now you're riding with Mark Martin. He's in 4th position.
The car directly in front there, that's Labonte, Bobby Labonte, as he fights his way off turn 4 there. You see him getting a little bit high. Say his car's pushing just a little bit there.
Look at Rusty Wallace. So disappointed last week after he had that clutch problem. Dropped the clutch and finished back out of the top 30.
But look at Sterling Marlin. Breeze right on by Rusty Wallace, and here comes Morgan Shepherd down on the inside. His car has been exceptionally strong on fresh tires. Moves into 3rd.
Ricky Rudd is in front. Sterling Marlin in 2nd. Morgan Shepherd 3rd. And it's Rusty Wallace in 4th. The 21 car still trying to make up some laps. Boy, what an unfortunate moment that was earlier for Michael Waltrip. Down to the inside. Here's Sterling Marlin blasting his way into the main straightaway. Going up over 200 miles an hour. Cranks it into the corner. 3 wide. Wallace. Boy, you talk about doing a slide job. He came all the way down from the top to the bottom.
Well, Rusty Wallace, he changed his mind twice there. You can see the car kind of twitch back and forth. You see him wash up the racetrack as he gets pushed out of position there. Ernie Irvin's on the move.
Gee, the guys in the old days, you talk about Billy Wimble and Ernie Gahan doing those reverse slides. That looked like one there, top to bottom, right through the traffic. Whoa, Rudd dropping back a bit here.
Well, I wonder if he maybe only took on 2 tires. He got out of the pits first after Jeff Gordon, and I wonder if he only took on 2 tires and might be hurting him right now.
Boy, he's getting chewed up.
No, that looks a little more serious to me.
Yeah, it does. It looks like he's lost speed on the straightaway. So that looks like engine. Here's Kyle Petty coming out of the pits after an unscheduled pit stop.
Ricky Rudd, who started the day in 14th spot. 93 400 champion here. In trouble.
He's 5th in the points coming into this race. Needed a good finish here to stay up there.
Big 10-car wreck put him out of business last year in this event. That's got to hurt. Sterling Marlin is the leader in the battle, just behind him, about 10 car lengths back. There you have Morgan Shepherd right in it another time. With him comes Ernie Irvin, Rusty Wallace, Mark Martin, and Earnhardt. Dale Jarrett, the onboard number 88 race cam, quality care car, and there's Jimmy Spencer slipping through on the inside of him. He was running in 10th as that started. Let's go to Dick Berggren.
Ricky Rudd does indeed have a significant problem, Ken. They have apparently lost a cylinder. They're going to leave him out on the racetrack to run a while. That will not fix itself. So Rudd going to be slipping back as the day winds down.
Bobby Labonte also slipping back a bit.
Well, Jimmy Spencer and Dale Jarrett both was able to get around Bobby Labonte. Bobby's pretty cool. He's not going to get himself in any tough positions there that could cost him too much time.
3 cars battling for second place. Shepherd in the 75. Ernie Irvin right there, and Rusty Wallace. What a comeback story for Ernie Irvin if he keeps picking up positions. Here he comes to the inside. Irvin brings that Robert Yates car down. They're coming 3 wide. Down there is the lap car of Michael Waltrip on the bottom.
Michael just sort of staying down there out of the way. He has a good race car now, but as we pointed out earlier, he is 7 laps down as a result of a problem after a pit stop.
Wow, Irvin.
Whoa, Ernie drove that car right on down into that corner, picked up about 3 car lengths going into the corner there on Morgan Shepherd.
He looked like Steve Kinzer on dirt. Whoop, down the inside and right up through.
It's the Ernie Irvin of old.
Yes, indeed. Grand to see.
Dropped about 3/4 out of both lefts.
As Larry McReynolds said, he dropped about 3/4 of a pound out of both left side tires, and apparently it's working. And it is amazing to me, buddy, that just a pound of air, or even 3/4 of a pound of air, can make such a difference in the handling characteristics of a race car.
Well, 1 pound is 50 pounds difference in the spring on the tires there. So the balance of these cars is really critical.
Look at Morgan Shepherd continue his war with Rusty Wallace.
Whether it be the pressures or just the tires, this is about the best set we've had so far.
I'd say so. I agree, Larry.
I think anybody's going to argue with him about
sir.
that.
He's going.
Sterling Marlin in front, and he has an advantage of about 25 car lengths over Ernie Irvan. Rusty Wallace challenging another time on Morgan Shepherd for third. Here's Mike Joy.
And Ken, the car that's coming into that picture is Dale Earnhardt. He started the day really loose. This is what these tires should look like when they come off the car. Dale Earnhardt's second right rear tire was this one. It was really blistered on the outside edge after they made an adjustment. The first right rear tire was blistered on the edge and the middle. They've got it better, and now they have the car just about neutral, and Earnhardt says he can race with it the way it is now.
He's certainly racing, Mike, no question about that. He's racing hard.
Raced himself right up through the field, back into the top three here. Morgan Shepherd, and here comes Dale Jarrett another time. You talk about tenacity.
Ooh, Dale, I hope you know he's out there. Rusty wasn't sure. I think Rusty backed off, which was a smart thing to do.
Yep, could have been a big one. Dale Jarrett's rear bumper. Almost got a low tap.
Now, talking about Ernie Irvan, Larry McReynolds said, I think that's the best set of tires that we've had today. Morgan Shepherd, I believe, has the worst set of tires that he has had today. His car is not handling quite as good as it did before.
110 laps complete as Wallace pulls up once again to do battle with Dale Jarrett here in the Michigan 400 for fifth.
If you're up early enough to have the road to yourself, driving can actually be fun.
My hot rod days are over, but I'm still more likely to pass than to be passed.
Sometimes on the weekends, my husband and I just like to kind of take off and lose ourselves in the beautiful scenery. If he's driving, west.
That way.
That's very easy.
Now with $600 cash back, Ford Contour's just $14,730. Or get incredible 2.9% APR financing. Hurry, this offer ends soon.
What do you get when you take Wendy's crispy chicken nuggets, 5 tender pieces of all white meat, served with one of 4 savory sauces, and make them just 99 cents every day?
You get busy.
Wendy's crispy chicken nuggets, now just 99 cents.
Some of the most admired cars you'll see are owned by the guys who know cars best. They're ASC certified master mechanics, and the #1 brand of motor oil these guys use in their own cars and trucks is Valvoline, makers of Durablend, the leading semi-synthetic for a cleaner engine due to better control of harmful deposits. So use the oil the mechanics who take care of your car use to take care of theirs. Valvoline. People who know use Valvoline.
If it's Saturday night, it's steak night. That's just the way it's always been.
And I always use my favorite steak sauce.
It's tradition.
Excuse me?
What?
Yeah, sometimes I'm in the mood for something different.
Something rich, robust,
Something zesty.
hearty.
Delicious.
It's there, and it's great.
A steak sauce for me? Are you serious?
Can you do that?
Yeah, all right.
New A1 Thick and Hearty. Steak has never been done like this before.
We're all in search of answers. See us for the ones about cars.
If his brother was president of Mexico and he got filthy rich, why should you care? You probably wouldn't if they didn't use your tax money to keep that whole country afloat.
International Speedway, 114 of 200 laps are complete, and by 2 4/10 of a second right now, Sterling Marlin is in front. He's drawn away a bit from the field. Ernie Irvan continuing in that second spot, and then it's anybody's race when you get back toward third. A question to Ned Jarrett here. Your reaction to the first half of this one?
It's been a good race, and we've had different people that have got out right now. Sterling Marlin is pulling away. Jeff Gordon did it a while. Morgan Shepherd did it earlier in the race. So it's interesting at changes that they make on these race cars, and to get out front, they're able to pull away a little bit here.
Now, I think the question to Buddy Baker is, you talked about the speed at the beginning, and we were talking earlier about the fact that maybe you wouldn't see as much three-wide racing. It seems to me we've seen as much as usual on this racetrack, Buddy.
Well, the cars seem to be really getting around the racetrack well. Down the straightaways especially, you can see them drop back up on the car that's pulling away. But right now, Jeff Gordon has a lot of time to make up. He's probably as fast as Sterling Marlin, but he has a lot of ground to make up.
He's making up a lot of it right now, buddy. Let's take this opportunity. If Ken Squire has seemed a little bit more exuberant today than maybe in some past broadcasts, his first grandchild was just born this week. Congratulations on that.
Didn't think you were
Cicely Stone.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
I got to see her tonight.
All right. Well, congratulations.
Now I'm almost as old as you two guys.
Well, congratulations to you, too. Jason Jarrett was trying to make his first race up at Bristol in the Baby Grand and missed by 0.03 of a second. So he looks like he's going to move up okay.
Yes, he's trying. He's trying to move up in the business. And Sterling Marlin certainly is moving up on this racetrack.
Sure is. I hope Cicely heard that. Thank you. Sterling Marlin in the lead. Irvin in second. Now look at this. Here's Earnhardt. Zoom. Got it.
Boy, he closed in on Ernie in a hurry and just blew right on by him.
From 14th position, this run by Earnhardt. Whoa. Boy, he's giving them a show here today. There are 98,000 seats. They've been sold out for 5 months for this event. They could add another 20,000 seats, and they still would be sold out 5 months in advance, and this is the reason why. The old master, the 7-time champion, Earnhardt, putting it on right now.
You know, that's what championship teams are made out of, and they know when Earnhardt's complaining about a chassis. If he says, I need a little bit of bite in or a little bit out, they know what he's talking about. They've been together so long that they can really fix his car, even if it's off at the first.
They never stop adjusting on it if the need is there.
Car 3 is 3 seconds back from that leader, Sterling Marlin. Now here is Jeff Gordon. Remember, he had to restart in 32nd position. Lug nut missing. He's come back out, and he's scrambling back through the field. He is right now in 14th position. And for more on Gordon, here's Mike.
Well, Ken, the car's getting pretty loose on them. Oftentimes you'll change 4 tires, and the 4 you put on, even though they're made the same and have the same compound, don't react the same to the way the chassis is set up as the 4 you took off. Driver speaking a kind of shorthand, and Gordon called in, and he said, this set of tires is not as good. And Ray Evernham barked back, well, make it a good set.
Saw some smoke up there, just down, pulling around here. That's the 90, Dick Trickle. Dick Trickle in trouble, and he's had such a good ride today. He was up in 12th place. Now this is for 3rd position. You watch the number 2 and the 28. They're duking it out. 3rd spot. And here comes Dale Jarrett right back in the bottom.
Rusty Wallace very tight in the center part of the corner. You can see him wash up right behind the 28 of Irvin. Boy, that was almost contact there. Look at Jeff. Look at Jarrett go on the inside going into turn 3.
190 miles an hour, even across as they go in, and it's Dale Jarrett. Broken leg, broken rib, bruised all down that side, and he's giving that car a ride. Here he comes back after Irvin. You talk about determination and guts. You see it here in these Winston Cup drivers. Looking back from Dale Jarrett, and there you see Rusty Wallace. All of these guys used to performing hurt, and you're driving in 140-degree cockpit temperature, lap after lap, hour after hour, and what a performance they're giving this standing room only crowd in Michigan today.
You could actually see Rusty Wallace giving hand signals to the car behind him of Mark Martin as they went down the straightaway, telling him, let's get in line and try to pick off Jarrett.
That's exactly what they were trying to do. Well, Jarrett's got himself a teammate there now, Ernie Irvin, that they could run with, and there's Sterling Marlin out there by himself. He don't have any help from anybody, and doesn't look like he needs any help.
Here's Jeff Gordon. Let's see how much he's got to make up as he closes down and tries to get back in this race. Lake Speed's just in front of him in the 9 car, the Harry Melling car, in those same colors they rode to victory with. He's 9 seconds back from the leader, almost 10, 9.8 seconds back is this car, number 24, the Rainbow Warriors. Not seeing much of a rainbow here on this beautiful day in the Irish Hills of Michigan. What a way to celebrate the 100th anniversary of the motor car. Fords and Chevys and Pontiacs really putting it on here. There goes Jarrett back on the inside, and look at this tangle for position. Dale Jarrett down below, Ernie Irvin on the outside, and Rusty Wallace all in that bundle.
But if he can't clear Ernie here, Rusty must probably shoot by him on the outside because they have the momentum in that high groove.
3rd place at stake.
You see, as Buddy has talked about, Jarrett runs that very, very low line. So
now, why does that car work so well on the bottom? You must have talked to him about that.
Well, they tried to set it up that way, and look at there. He cleared Irvin that time coming off the turn. They've set it up to do that. And some race cars you can get to do that, and others you just simply can't. That happens to be a race car that you can get to work down in that bottom lane.
Lapping Loy Allen, number 19. He's back in 34th position. Loy Allen, he's also driving hurt today. Now take a look at Gordon. There's Gordon. See him closing ever closer on Lake Speed for 11th. This is how far he has to go to catch the leader. There's the leader. That little yellow number right there. Sterling Marlin looking for win number 2 of 1996. After that great Talladega win, it will be with him at Talladega in July the 28th. Now look at this battle. Here's Gordon trying to pick off another.
Trying to pick off 11th position. He's moved up to 12th now. That's a good run. He was in 32nd place when he came back out of the pits. So he's not out of this thing by any means.
Dick Berkman.
It took Sterling Marlin 279 races to win his first one. He got with his Kodak team. He has been a rocket ever since. The next 4 wins came in just 74 races. Tony Glover is crew chief. You've got him running way out front today. What have you done for this guy's career?
Well, you know, we've just put him in some good equipment, and yeah, I've always known he had a lot of talent to drive a race car, and it's just a situation working good for us. I just like to take this time to thank the guys back in our engine room. We lost this engine on Friday and had to send it back and get it rebuilt. They worked all night long and flew it back. They did one heck of a job. Thanks, guys.
Teamwork. David Hobbs?
Well, I'm down with Dick Trickle. Dick, that's an end to a disappointing day. What happened?
Well, we had an awfully good car. You know, the Highland Mile people just did a good job here, you know. Old Junie Dunlop, he's got some good pieces here. We just running right near the top 10 there all day. We're a little bit tight, loosening up every stop and getting better. And, you know, I think we broke a piston, you know, just rather mess it up for everybody else. No, we'd go out there, blow a little oil around and make a few laps. But we're out of contention, so we put it behind the wall.
Yeah, disappointing end to a pretty busy weekend. You were down in Myrtle Beach yesterday. That went pretty well.
Well, I feel we had a top 5 car here because I couldn't run it near as hard as it should be run because it was tight. But we had plenty of room to loosen up, so each stop we're loosening up, getting better and better. We could hang on in top 10 there just the way it was.
Well, that's great news there. Dick Trickle, again, going back to what you, Ned, was saying about making adjustments to these cars as they go through the race. He was still looking for a real good, strong top 5 towards the end.
And Dick Trickle has a great feel for a race car. He's done so much of it over the years, ran so many short tracks, and he knows what kind of adjustments he wants on the car.
600, 800 short track wins, legendary. Dick Trickle. CBS Sports coverage of the Michigan 400 continues after this message and a word from your local station.
Where does Napa keep over 200,000 different parts? Right up here. Now remember, your belt tension on this is critical. What kind of car is it? Well, I'll sell you all the struts you want, but I wouldn't recommend putting them in without the right tools. I'm sure we have it. Okay, is it a 77 or a 78? Because they changed the carburetor in 78. Actually, that's not a stupid question at all. I know what it used to be. You don't stay at Napa long handing out the wrong answers. And I'm not planning on going anywhere.
America running.
There's no place I'd rather be.
You're on CBS.
The savings are huge on America's best-selling sport utility at your 5 Metro Toledo Ford dealers. With 5 out of America's 10 best-selling vehicles, we've got the car or truck you're looking for. Right now, you can save over $1,400 on a new '96 Ford Explorer. And we've got hundreds of beautiful new Explorers in stock and ready to go. Take advantage of our huge inventory. Come in today.
See Kistler, Matthews, Quality, Whitman, and Brandeis Ford.
What else would you expect from Lowe's? Lowe's, the official home improvement warehouse of NASCAR.
For motorsports updates, call 248-WTOL Category 3015.
We are back with you at Michigan International Speedway. The laps running down. We've completed 131 thus far. Sterling Marlin with a big advantage, almost 5 seconds out here over Dale Jarrett, who's now taken over in second spot. Earnhardt is in third. Fourth is Urban as they come by with Rusty Wallace fifth, and Terry Labonte is on the move. He's up to sixth. Mark Martin is in seventh. And further back, Jeff Gordon continuing to wend his way back into this race from 32nd position.
He is now back up to 11th.
Looking for Jimmy Spencer, who is in 10th. And again, just joining us, Michael Waltrip, several laps down. He's running as fast as anything on this track, but he had trouble on a pit stop. Now, right here to our left and right at the start-finish line, 117 steps above the speedway, are the spotters who are on call to these drivers throughout the race and make such a dramatic difference. These are the folks who talk to those drivers lap after lap, tell them where they are. Some drivers like a lot of conversation, some like Earnhardt like zero. But they're key when you get into these moments of crisis on this big 2-mile track.
They're your eyes and ears. When you can't see the back straightaway, they can let you know what's going on when it happens over there.
And sometimes, too, we've seen some drivers using various lines out there on the racetrack, and they might say, hey, so-and-so's coming up on you, and he's running a lower line than you are. You might try that. And so they're your eyes and ears, and they can be a big help to you.
You saw Ricky Rudd in a picture just a moment ago. He was leading 29 laps back. He's now a lap down. He had some problems, had to come into the pits. 31st.
I don't think he came into the pits, Ken. He just slowed down. He lost a cylinder and is still out there.
Still trying, but a lap down. To take a look at this battle, this is a dandy. Here's for 10th spot. Gordon on the move to the inside, and he has Spencer. Next on his list would be Jeff Burton, number 99, about 10-15 car lengths in front of him. Spencer not willing to give him up.
I don't think he has much choice. Gordon's car is really strong off the corner. You see he cleared him there, takes that spot away.
But from 32nd, he is back into the top 10, and he's 11 seconds down to the leader with 65 to go. Dick Berger.
Well, Ken, everybody on pit road is working hard on fuel mileage. They've all got the calculators out. And here's why fuel mileage is always such a story at Michigan. In 1994, the average number of cautions per race on the whole circuit was 7 per event. In 95, it was 6. In the last 5 years, we have averaged just 5 caution flags per event here at Michigan. Now, depending how you want to look at that, that's either 1 or 2 less opportunities to come into the pits and put gas in the car, and that makes pit strategy in terms of fuel timing absolutely critical here at Michigan.
Kyle Petty retiring from the race.
And Dick, what you were saying there, that Jeff Gordon having to come back into the pits might work out to his advantage depending on the fuel mileage he'll get. He had topped off with fuel, of course, when he came in, along with Jeremy Mayfield, Ken Schrader, and Todd Bodine. So he might be able to stay out there and stretch this thing to one more stop.
For 9th position and for 8th. And now look at Urban and Earnhardt back in it again. Up in the front of the field, Irvin and Earnhardt for third spot. Wallace there. Couple of good wars going on this track.
Dale's kind of square in the corner. I'll see in the middle part of the corner there. He goes high on the racetrack. Ernie Irvin takes that spot away. Now comes the two-car of Rusty Wallace.
Irvin into third. Into fourth comes Wallace. Earnhardt falling back. There goes Terry Labonte. He gets by him.
Yeah, Terry was way back when we started. He wasn't back as far as Jeff Gordon, but he was back, you know, in the middle of the field, and he has caught this crowd. He inched his way on up towards the front.
Earnhardt fighting, trying to stay up here in the top 6. Martin trying to push him back another spot. Kyle Petty out of the race. Here's Martin looking at Earnhardt. Let's go to David Hobbs.
Well, I'm down with Kyle Petty. Kyle, miserable end to what looked like a pretty miserable day one way or another.
Yeah, our car was real loose getting in the corner. I couldn't even get anywhere close. And then I guess we got a piece of trash on a grill right before the last caution, or during the last caution, and it overheated during the caution. And it must have just got hot enough that it cracked the head really quick. And we come and put water in it, went back out and run about 15 or 20 laps, but it's just running out the side of the motor, so it's time to go home.
What about the new nose we heard so much about?
Yeah.
I see. So you don't think much of the new nose? Well, that's Kyle Petty again. Ned Benny just a little bit upset.
And as you were talking to him, Joe Nemechek pulled his car into the garage area.
Take a look back here. You see that the 99, he's fallen back another spot as Jeff Gordon continues his assault. The 1994 Rookie of the Year, Jeff Burton, losing a spot to Gordon as he continues to try to collect those leaders.
You know, Ned, you said just a little while ago, Morgan Shepherd must have the worst set of tires. I don't know what's wrong, but Jeff Gordon just went by him like he was standing still just a lap back.
Yeah, that car is definitely not handling the way it was.
Now there's Sterling Marlin. His lead has been as much as 5 seconds. It still looks about that. Over Dale Jarrett in second place, and then the war for third spot as they continue to swap that position. Ernie Irvin for the moment into third. You see Labonte going to fourth. Terry Labonte into fourth. Terry Labonte currently second in the Winston Cup points. There's Wallace right behind him. Earnhardt picking up a spot again to 6.
Marlin just sitting there cruising. Check that interval. I think it's over 6 seconds now.
Boy, what would you do to that car when you make your last pit stop? I wouldn't have any idea what to do to it. It looks perfect.
Yeah, they've really done their job this afternoon. Pit crew 7.5 seconds.
Here comes Irvin again, and that battle is so good. Terry Labonte on the bottom. This is for third. For third spot. Terry Labonte, number 5, and Ernie Irvin. Ernie's been in a battle street fight every moment of this race. Rick Mass has just pitted number 1 another time. He was running 24th. Here's David Hobbs.
Well, I'm down in the garage here with Joe Nemechek. Joe, not where you wanted to be. What happened?
Something started missing in the motor. I think we broke a valve spring or something. About typical for our luck so far this season. But, you know, the whole Burger King crew, they're just working real hard. We're trying hard. We had a good car here. We're just trying to ride around and try and finish. We haven't finished the Winston Cup race here yet. Just seems like we have little problems all the time, and we'll get better. We'll be there.
Well, there you have the other side of Winston Cup racing. Let's go down to Mike Joy.
Dale Earnhardt is in for what looks like only 2 tires. Gene Dehart changes the right front. Rick Veers the right rear as Mike Moore has it up in the air. It will be a 4-tire change. Danny Myers and Danny Lawrence gassing the car while the left side tires go on. Second can of gas going in. Finished on the left front. Good quick stop for Dale Earnhardt under green.
19 seconds.
And the leader is in for Sterling Marlin. And here comes Jeff Gordon down pit road. So green flag pit stop starting. Let's go back to the pits and Dick Berger.
Sterling Marlin is in sooner than he wanted to be in, Jarrett. They are not going to be able to go all the way. It will take yet one more stop. Henry Benfield is the gas man here. He used to gas cars for Junior Johnson all the way back in the 1970s. Every drop is precious. There goes Sterling. He is no longer the leader.
Gordon on pit road came in running in 7th spot. This is at lap 144. Mike Joy.
No chassis change on Jeff Gordon, Ken. Apparently that set of tires came around to his liking the way he was moving up. They're finished with gas. They're done with the left side. He's away.
Kenny Wallace, number 81, is also on pit road. getting ready to bring his car back out. He's running a lap down in 24th. Hutch Strickland has pitted in return. Bobby Labonte is in. Brett Bodine has pitted. And there is your new leader. It's Dale Jarrett in the 88. And they seem to get good mileage.
Yeah, they get pretty good mileage. It's pretty well understood that sometimes the Fords don't get as good a mileage as the Chevrolets, but at Charlotte they got good mileage in their last 100-mile run there. And he went on the first pit stop here, went as far as anybody excepting Bobby Labonte.
Bernie Irvin is now pitting. Jarrett is first. Terry Labonte is second. Rusty Wallace is third. And it looks like car number 37 may just have blown up. John Andretti going down the back straightaway very slowly. Mark Martin is in. Ricky Craven. Now we see Morgan Shepherd on pit road, followed by Bobby Hillen. And here's Mark Martin's pit stop.
These will be routine pit stops for 4 tires and a tank of fuel. Fuel is the main thing they need.
I'm just wondering if we're just talking about John Andretti, if he might have run out of fuel. There may not be a motor problem.
Might have. He's coasting into the pits. It looks like he will make it to the pits.
Here's Dale Jarrett. The 88's been your leader.
Coming into the pits.
Green flag pit stops. Laps 144 up to 146 right now. Working 147 quickly to Dick Berger.
This is going to be a quick stop for Dale Jarrett. He had run the car out of fuel. He came in, the engine was silent. It's silent again. They're getting ready with the ether in the carburetor. A little gas in the carburetor. Jarrett's car not running here at Michigan. The leader out of fuel first, stalled on pit road. The crew trying to get it going. It barks. It won't run. What a disappointment for Dale Jarrett. There it goes. Oh.
Well, what you thought was a quick pit stop, Dick, turned out to be a long one, unfortunately.
Dale Jarrett back underway. In the 88, the Quality Care Ford comes back on the track. John Andretti also had not lost the engine. He slowed down out of 2. He was a little thin on fuel. Back underway. This is all green flag stops. Jeremy Mayfield is pitted. He's out. Roy Allen.
Terry Labonte has taken over the lead, but he too is coming into the pits along with Rusty Wallace.
They were running first and second. Here's Mike Joy.
Rusty Wallace on his way down pit lane, Ken, and Robin Pevert and a crew are ready for him. Hunting, looking for his pit stall. Crew members ready to jump over the wall. He keeps it in fairly close to the wall as they get ready with the right side. Bill Wilburn and Sean Parker change tires. Scott Robinson with the car up in the air as you look from overhead straight down to the crew at work. Earl Barber has the second gas can already in. Jeff Paxton with a catch can while the left side tires get changed. Finished on fuel. Away on the tires. Down goes the jack. Away goes Rusty.
Jimmy Spencer briefly had the lead. Now he is in for fuel. Those 2 cars that just came in. They're back on the track. Rusty Wallace, Terry Labonte. So we'll regather our forces and bring you back to Michigan International Speedway after this message.
The new Ford Taurus has people talking. Car and Driver noted it's wider, longer, and taller than before. Edward Armand says,
I'm amazed at its size. It's actually bigger than it looks.
Automobile Magazine calls it maybe the best family car ever made. And Maria Stylo adds,
I love it. I've never gotten so many compliments.
The new Ford Taurus. Now with $600 cash back, Taurus starts at just $17,945. Or get 2.9% APR financing. Hurry, offer ends soon.
You know, working at AutoZone is more than just looking up parts or ringing up sales. Most of all is listening. Because my customers know more about their cars than I'll ever know. They know every rattle by heart. I mean, that car is their baby. So when they got a problem they're going to fix themselves, I'm going to do my best to help them get whatever they need, no matter what it takes. Because people like that, they don't deserve anything less than the best I can give them.
Get your motors running. First, the Grand National Rates are gunning at the Watkins Glen 200. Then, NASCAR trucks bump and run right to the finish. Next Sunday on CBS.
The Bud One airship and its eye in the sky camera, proud to provide these pictures from more than 1,000 feet above the Michigan International Speedway on this glorious first day of summer. Second, right?
You got
2 days in now. Sure does feel good up here. About 78 degrees to 80. Depending upon where the clouds are, and there's your leader. No clouds on this guy. Sterling Marlin battle for second place.
Rusty Wallace trying to take it away from Dale Earnhardt. And here comes Terry Labonte. He's going to try to get a run. Couldn't quite do it going into that corner, which was turn number 3. They're coming off the turn 4 now.
See, Terry just turned down, make them side by side as they come down front straightaway.
About half a lap behind this battle, as Sterling Marlin had another perfect pit stop with 48 laps to go and tries to draw away from the field for his second win of the season. Dick Berger.
Well, Ken, as we watch Dale Jarrett try to wind his way through this big field, I'll remind you that in 1994, with the race about 3/4 gone, Rusty Wallace came out of the lead and ran out of fuel, and they had a hard time starting the car. But they did get it started, and he went on and he won the race. The crew chief that day, Buddy Parrott, father of the crew chief of Dale Jarrett, Todd Parrott, in today's race.
Todd Parrott. Very happy young man these days. Couldn't have found a better place in his career than on that car 88. Now there's Hut Strickland.
About to go another lap down. He was already 1 lap down, being shown in the 28th position. Hut had a tremendous run last week at Pocono until he had some transmission problems.
There's Sterling Marlin. He's built up a big lead here. 22 cars remain in the lead lap, and as you watch Sterling Marlin in front of these 96,000 folks in the grandstand, doesn't count what's in the infield. Boy, you can see it is a healthy advantage that he has. Here's second place just rolling down out of turn number 4. That's Rusty Wallace right there. Second position.
Almost 9 seconds.
Terry Labonte right there behind him. A little less than half a lap. But it's a big lead in Winston Cup racing. Not as big a lead as you've had anywhere along this season. Gets right in there. Dale Jarrett never had that much in winning the 600 the other day, and they thought that was a blowout. Here's David Hobbs.
Well, Larry McReynolds and the crew here in the 28-car garage and, of course, 88-car too have been doing a lot of working out there. I was standing down there while they had the calculators out, and there was a lot of grimacing and shaking their heads. And I think the general consensus, they're going to have to come in with about 4 or 5 laps to go for stop-and-go splash of fuel. They aren't going to make it to the end, that's for sure, in either of these two Fords.
All the leaders have made this fuel stop under green. Anybody differ with that?
Somebody will go all the way, I'll guarantee, or run out of fuel on the last lap.
I think the two that has the best chance of it are Terry Labonte and Bobby Labonte.
Bobby Labonte. All right, Mike Joy.
Well, that's just the question I've been asking up and down pit road. Earnhardt will have to stop. Jeff Gordon is about 3 gallons short. He will have to stop. Ted Musgrave, Howard Comstocks, I think we can make it. And Robin Pemberton gave the same answer. Now, Pemberton, Rusty Wallace has to go 52 laps. Musgrave has to go 51. Bobby Labonte can make it, and the question mark is Terry Labonte.
We'll get the old rule out and see. There's a Wallace fan. He's got a lot to cheer about right now, just barely in front of Texas Terry Labonte in that struggle for second position.
Ward Burton back in the pit. Steve Grissom is in with the hood up on his car. And the hood goes up on the Ward Burton car. Let's go back to the pits and Dick Berger.
Well, at first we thought Terry Labonte was going to be able to make it on fuel. Oh, now Gary Dehart, his crew chief, just waving his hand side to side. He says, maybe we can. He just told me a second ago, nah, we can't make it. And that's really what's going on down here. They're all trying to figure it out. One team that knows they cannot make it is Sterling Marlin's crew. Number 4, your current leader. They will have to pit again.
Number 4 was 4th here last August in that other 400. This is a race that hasn't treated him particularly well over the years. See him building almost 10 seconds now, the advantage by which Sterling Marlin leads, but at a point it is definite. He's got to give it up.
I told Dale when he was a little boy, what you need to win is to get the right people behind you, speak softly, and carry a big, heavy foot.
Get race quality service with quality care at Ford and Lincoln Mercury dealers.
Wake up, little Susie, wake up. Wake up, little Susie, wake up. Wake up, little Susie, wake up.
If more top mechanics use one motor oil over any other brand in their own cars and trucks, maybe it's time you changed your oil. Valvoline, the #1 choice of America's top mechanics.
What, is this your idea of excitement? Let me tell you about exciting, okay? Driving around a racetrack at over 200 miles an hour, that's exciting. These are just flakes.
Well, what do you think?
These are really good. They're crispy, too.
Really?
Yeah, they're mighty good even with nothing on them. What are they?
Hey, Charlie.
Yeah. Kellogg's Corn Flakes? How could I be so dumb?
You got 500 miles to think about it.
Kellogg's is proud to sponsor NASCAR champion Terry Labonte.
Extreme? Try strapping yourself with a 4,000-pound rocket. Then run at 220. 6 inches away from 41 of your closest friends. Real close. NASCAR. Extreme and always has been. Busch, the official beer of NASCAR, and always has been.
This week on Dave, Cher, Shaquille O'Neal, Luke Perry, Blues Traveler, Conan O'Brien, Jerry Van Dyke, Jimmy Buffett, and Michael Keaton. All this week.
Here at Michigan, Marlin has a 7-second advantage, and at the FedEx St. Jude Classic, it is a 7-stroke advantage. It's coming up next on CBS Sport. John Cook over Kenny Perry, followed by John Adams, but John Cook is just blowing them away, Ned. 25 under.
Having a great weekend. I understand that his first 54 holes, yeah, thanks for that. First 54 holes was a new record for the PGA. Well, that's something.
That's next on CBS Sports.
The lead-in to that was out of a sand trap. I know something about that. I live in those things.
There's no sand trap on this man right now, but it has backed down. Remember, as we left you, we mentioned he had a 10-second advantage. That's dwindled to 7. Now, is he trying to save it here, gentlemen?
Well, if he knows he's got to stop, why in the world would he conserve? I'd be letting it go.
Now, that interval is closing up a little. There it is, right there, coming around out of turn 4. It's still a three-way battle. Rusty Wallace on top of it for second place at the present time, followed by Terry Labonte right there with him.
And if we pan just a little bit further to the right, there's another guy going to come into that picture before too long. It'll be that number 24 car of Jeff Gordon. They should come in there. Come on, Jeff. Get in that picture. He's not too far behind.
There's Earnhardt.
Earnhardt's back there, but Jeff Gordon is not far behind Dale Earnhardt.
There you see Earnhardt. There he is.
I knew he was there. I had that feeling.
That's called next victim the way the 24 car of Jeff Gordon's running.
Yeah, but he's up there now where those victims are harder to get your hands around.
Yeah, past Mark Martin, there you see we're looking at the windshield or off the roof cam of Jeff Gordon. That
He passed Mark Martin not too long ago and has pulled away from Mark.
Hey, we haven't mentioned that we've got a new record going here today. This is correct. We got a 163.9, and the record is 169, which was Davey Allison's in 1991. So we may be in for a new 400-mile record. Here's Mike.
Well, a couple of years ago, Ken, here, Jack Roush's car with Mark Martin had a big lead. That's Jack, and he left Mark out there. They ran out of gas, did not win the race. His crew chief is Steve Meal, and Steve, we've looked at the list of who stopped when. Now, who's lying and who's going to be crying here?
I hope they're all lying, because there's a bunch of good cars got to stop for fuel. Rusty thinks he can go. Our 16 team car down here thinks they can go. They're in pretty good shape, and I'm just positive Bobby Labonte can go. He's kind of riding around back there picking up fuel mileage after behind his buddy Schrader, so I don't know. I'd like to get a caution and have a race, but I think there's for sure 3 cars that can go without fuel.
Are you one of them?
No, sir. No, we're not one of them.
Not this time, Ken.
But the teammate car, the 16 car of Musgrave, running in 18th position, and that lead lap is one they say can go the distance. Now there you see Sterling Marlin continuing to lead. Great racing family out of Tennessee. Sterling one time said, I got my start helping my daddy work on race cars back home in his shop. And then he said, well, actually, it wasn't much of a shop. It was just an old tin shed out back. Learned a lot from my dad. He was independent man and never had a big sponsor, big money, but he never gave it up. All right, now Cuckoo Marlin's kids back in front here today. And here's that battle for second place. Wallace is there, Terry Labonte next, and Ernie Irvin. Second, third, and fourth, all within striking distance of each other.
This is a great race right here. You see Ernie Irvin trying to get under Terry Labonte as they start down the home stretch. Just out of this frame, here's Earnhardt and Jeff Gordon, who will be moving right into this group in just a second.
Especially with that side-by-side racing, they'll get to suck up there pretty quickly, but Ernie disposes of Terry Labonte.
There you see them, second, third, fourth. And the leader continues to be Sterling Marlin, and closing ever closer, Earnhardt and Gordon in fifth and sixth. It's going to be a great finish. Don't go away.
It's a simple concept. The bigger the hole, the easier air can flow through it. That's the idea behind Dynamax, the performance exhaust with the open airflow. Dynamax. Its patented open design maximizes your engine's full power potential, so you can really haul. Performance exhaust systems, engineered by Walker. Dynamax.
Enter the Performance Zone with Split-Fire Performance V spark plugs.
You hit your passing gear, you're gone.
The difference in gas mileage has been fantastic.
Split-Fire Performance V spark plugs mean better performance, more horsepower, and better mileage. So say the experts and the people who use them.
They're the best plugs I ever put in my car.
Enter the Performance Zone, only with Split-Fire Performance Vs, guaranteed.
At PrimeStar, we think everybody should be able to enjoy satellite television without having to pay hundreds of dollars for a mini dish. So with PrimeStar, there's no equipment to buy. You get our dish, plus up to 95 channels of fantastic programming, and it starts at about $1 a day. And now there's never been a better time to sign up. Because this month, we're saluting the American Red Cross and donating $10 for every new PrimeStar customer. Call 1-800-PRIME-STAR.
This is the Texaco Haviland stock car. And this is the Texaco Haviland Indy car. And while these cars run on special fuels, we figured it was still a good way to remind you that Texaco Clean System 3 gasolines give your car unsurpassed performance. And Texaco Haviland Formula 3 motor oil and Texaco antifreeze coolants provide complete protection. But if we really wanted you to remember our name, maybe we should have sponsored something slower.
Add more life to your car. Take it to the store.
This CBS Sports Race Summary is sponsored by Texaco Haviland Formula 3 Motor Oil. Controls volatility and fights vaporization.
At Michigan, with 340 miles complete, 8 different drivers have had a crack at the lead. They swapped the lead 16 times, and they're setting a record-breaking pace at 164 miles an hour. A couple of cautions for 9 laps. And there are the cars out of the event. 6 so far. Cope, Trickle, Petty, Benson Jr. from Grand Rapids, Michigan, one of those. Now there's the story. Top of the screen, you see the leader now by 8 seconds again in front. And on the bottom, take a look at this struggle. All of those cars in that picture on the bottom of your screen are fighting for position. And right now, for second spot, Ernie Irvan dives down through. And he's going for position. That's for second. Wallace goes to third. Terry Labonte stays in fourth. Earnhardt and Jeff Gordon have moved right back into this thing. And there's that interval. That shows you the difference.
That's Jeff Gordon there next to the last car in this frame. He just passed Earnhardt. He's moving in on fourth place.
You see the 33 of Presley lapped car just in front of them. Number 33, 1 lap down in 22nd position. Nobody's going to walk out on this one, even though Sterling Marlin, with 25 laps to go, has this big healthy advantage. But the sense with everyone here is that Marlin will have to come in for a splash of fuel to carry him the 400-mile distance. And then you've got this skirmish going on among 5 drivers that could decide this race. Now here's Earnhardt back there in that 6th position. Gordon has just passed him for 5th. Terry Labonte just up in front of him for 4th. And Irvan, Wallace in that struggle in 2nd place.
You know, you see Jeff Gordon already back up in the 5th place. Can you imagine right now what a race we would have for the lead had Gordon not had to lose all that time by that loose lug nut to put him in the back of the field?
Buddy Baker, when you won this race in 79,
yeah,
how much has it changed since then?
It's changed quite a bit. We had a lot of attrition during the time that I won up here. Right now, you have a ton of race cars. They're in the same lap with the leaders right now. It could go any way. And I never won a race by fuel mileage. I had to outrun them.
21 cars remain in the lead lap. Here's Mike Joy.
One of those is Ted Musgrave. Howard Comstock is his crew chief. This is the second of 3 Jack Roush cars. You didn't stop till lap 149. Can you go 51 laps?
Yeah, we think we can go the 51 laps that were left at that time, so we stayed out as long as we could. I think the 18 can go. We're going to go, and if we can just keep the 18 inside, I think it could be between those 2 cars.
And Terry Labonte and Rusty Wallace is the cars that might make it on fuel. Don't you just love a little suspense and intrigue?
Oh, yeah. And that Musgrave car, remember, was it 92 when he was here, and he ran all the way up to 4th in the final moments, moved around Ricky Rudd. He had to come in for a splash of fuel, wound up back in 7th or 8th, but it was the day when they really took Ted Musgrave seriously. It was right on this track.
Jeff Bodine just went a lap down. Jeff being shown in the 21st position. Now there are 20 cars on the lead lap.
177 complete. New 400-mile record being established here at Michigan International Speedway today as Sterling Marlin continues to blitz. And look at Gordon. He is around Terry Labonte. That puts him up into 4th. And he's closing on Wallace. He's won 2 in a row. Currently stands 3rd in the Winston Cup standings. Earnhardt really took a step backward. He's still in the lead. But with that finish last week back in 34th, 35th spot, they're nipping away at it. Here's Gordon closing in on Rusty Wallace.
You could see Wallace drop down on the front straightaway there, trying to break the draft a little bit on Jeff Gordon. Jeff Gordon went right with him. He's not going to give that draft up. Right in this part of the racetrack, Jeff Gordon gives up a little bit. We'll watch him rifle down the straightaway. What a great race car he has.
Here he comes. 2-time winner Rusty Wallace right in front. Wallace trying to wide oval that number 2 just a little here. 3rd a year ago behind Bobby Labonte and some kid named Jeff Gordon. Gordon back on the inside and challenging Rusty Wallace. You're watching it live here at Michigan as 98,000 folks in those seats are watching this struggle. Gordon picks up another and comes after Ernie Irvan for 2nd place.
There's
seldom see that car slide much on the racetrack.
You know, I was just going to say that. I've watched Jeff Gordon for a couple of years now, and you hardly ever see him get himself in trouble. He drives that car right to the limit, but he never crosses it up, never abuses the tires. He's a lot like his teammate, Terry Labonte.
That's the experience out of that Silver Crown Championship in those open field cars. CBS Sports coverage of the Michigan 400 continues after this message and a word from your local station.
Before cars had phones, cup holders, or even roofs, Mobil Oil was there. When Lindbergh crossed the Atlantic, Mobil was on board. Mobil was in the world's first minivans, in the first space shuttle, and in the tanks of Desert Storm. So if you think that all oils are alike, think about something. At Mobil, we've been changing oil for over 125 years.
Looking for that perfect golf package? Absolutely, positively. CBS delivers right to your home the FedEx St. Jude Classic. Make it a priority next on CBS.
You're on.
Sunday, we believe in putting on our best. Maybe that's why no car company has won more races in the history of NASCAR than Chevrolet.
Put yourself behind the wheel at Dunn Chevrolet Oldsmobile.
Fact. Today's college graduate will have 4 careers. Each day, 10,000 baby boomers turn 50. Ketchup is being outsold by salsa. Your whole world is changing. And while a lot of banks haven't woken up to that fact, one has. Key. We have investment management for the little guy, fast business banking even on weekends, teller machines that pay you for using them, and a commitment to keep up with America's changes. Key, for a new America.
To be a City Fest volunteer, call 248-WTOL, then enter category CITI.
CBS Sports coverage of the Michigan 400 is sponsored by Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately? Budweiser, official sponsor of the 1996 U.S. Olympic team. This bud's for you. And by AutoZone, the best parts in auto parts.
17 laps remain. New track record in the making. The name that could be on it is this man, Sterling Marlin, out of Columbia, Tennessee, going for win number 2. And further back, look at this battle continue. Earnhardt in the 3, the 6 of Mark Martin, and Terry Labonte.
They just went around Terry Labonte. I got a feeling that Terry Labonte is conserving fuel right now, going to try to go. But here's a second place battle. They're not conserving fuel as Jeff Gordon moves on the inside of Ernie Irvan.
Almost even. What a ride Jeff Gordon has given this 24. 10 top 10 finishes in the last 11 races. Terry Labonte's done that as well. Still even for second place. And Irvan pulls back on the outside. Gordon comes back on the bottom.
Boy, oh boy, they're getting awful close right there.
A year ago, he had 7 wins. Important one for him today. Question is, will that number 4 car in the lead by 10 seconds be able to stay out there? Or will he have to come on pit road for fuel? Further back in the field, here's Ken Schrader, Budweiser car, and given him much of a call today. He stayed right in the lead lap. He's running in 16th position at the present time. Bobby Labonte is just behind him, and Bobby Hamilton that started on the pole just in front of him. Oh, we just saw Robert Presley back on pit road. Here's the leader getting around Ricky Craven.
Ricky Rudd still out there running on 7 cylinders. He's dropped all the way down to 31st position.
And Craven is running in 30th. He's running 3 laps back. Mike Joy.
Can't expect Ricky Craven and Rick Mast to be the bellwether on pit stops. Mast should be in any time. And once he pits, expect Dale Earnhardt, Sterling Marlin, and Jeff Gordon to be in about 4 laps afterward. Morgan Shepherd would be the first of the Fords to pit if the sequence keeps up. Ernie Irvin and the rest of that group would be in 5 to 6 laps after Shepherd. And the pit board is right now out for Rick Mast. He's in the pit lane, and we begin the final round of green flag stops for those that have to.
14 laps to go.
Oh, my heart would be beating so hard I wouldn't be able to hear it if it run out of fuel.
There's Earnhardt. There's your leader. Checking that interval, stays right up there big time.
Yeah, he has a very comfortable lead. Now, we've talked about Bobby Labonte and Ted Musgrave. They're about 3/4 of a lap behind Sterling Marlin. If everybody else has to stop, Sterling Marlin has a big enough lead over them that he might be able to get in and out. And Sterling Marlin is coming in right now.
Bobby Labonte also pitted.
That's Dave Marcus.
I'm sorry, Dave Marcus in.
Here comes Dale Earnhardt.
Earnhardt running in 5th on pit road. Dick Berger.
188. Sterling Marlin comes in off the racetrack. Only quick stop. They got about a half a can in there from Henry Benfield. He's back out, but he has lost the lead, Ken.
To Mike Joy.
Here's Dale Earnhardt. Danny Myers has the gas can. They will clean the grill and do nothing more. Danny says it's all in there, and away he goes.
Now, Sterling Marlin is going to get back out in front of Bobby Labonte, as we predicted that he might be able to do. So if Bobby Labonte and Ted Musgrave is behind him, so, you know, if everybody else has to stop, he's still going to win the race.
Only 7 seconds. That's how long he was stopped in there to pick up his fuel. So Sterling Marlin looks like he has it underhand right now.
20 cars in the lead lap with Jeff Bodine back in 20th.
He went back on the lead lap when Sterling Marlin made his pit stop.
Jeff Gordon with 2 in a row, trying to make it 3. Brett Bodine is in 19th. Dallenbach is in 18th. Musgrave moves up to 17th. Hamilton to 16th.
Blake Speed is in for his final splash of gas.
7th place.
Running in 7th place. Had a good run going. And here is Ernie Irvin coming in. Brett Bodine and Jeff Bodine coming down pit road right now.
2nd place, Ernie Irvin on pit road.
Ooh.
Lap 190, 10 to go.
He really split her in. He wasn't in there long at all. Dale Jarrett comes in right behind him. There he'll get his splash of fuel. He's out moving already.
That was quick.
They just need a few gallons. They bring a gallon up there.
Ned, that was less than 3 seconds he was stopped there.
And here comes Jeff Gordon down pit road. He has to stop, get a little bit.
Leader in. Here's Mike Joy.
Mike Belden is up on the wall. He's ready for Gordon. So is Andy Papathanasiou, who has the catch can. The signboard is out. Ray Evernham's on the top of the wall because Gordon said the car was loose getting into the corner and it was tight coming off. We'll see if they take the time for a chassis adjustment or just fuel, and it will be just fuel. Gordon comes right up on the line, keeps the engine rev way up, and he's gone in a flurry of tire smoke.
Wallace in the number 2 has not pitted. We take the lead.
Yep, Martin has not pitted. Terry Labonte has not pitted. So we'll see who can and who can't go. There was speculation. Here comes Mark Martin right now. No question about him. He's coming in for his pit stop.
Mark Martin on pit road. And that means that Rusty Wallace stays in the lead and that number 5, Terry Labonte, goes into 2nd.
Morgan Shepherd coming down pit road for his last pit stop.
Have we seen the 99 Jeff Burton come in?
No, he has not made a pit stop.
So those are 3 are 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. It's Wallace leading, Labonte and Jeff Burton 1, 2, and 3. And I don't believe Spencer's been in.
No,
he hasn't
been in either. That is correct.
Into the last 10 laps. Sterling Marlin. On the latest standings, they have him unofficially in 9th spot.
Brett, he's moved up to 8th now, but Rusty Wallace is the leader. Can he go that distance on fuel? Here comes the Jeff Burton car. You speculated on him a moment ago. He has to come in for a little bit of fuel.
So that would leave Wallace 1st, Terry Labonte in 2nd. When they come by this time, 6 to go. Bobby Hillen pitting. He had been running up with that front group, was running in 5th spot a moment ago. Quick splash, and he's away.
Jeff Burton must have run out of gas. They're having to push his car down the pit road. Mike Joy?
Robin Pemberton talks to Rusty Wallace as he comes by with just 6 laps to go. You play poker?
Pardon me?
Do you play poker?
No, this is enough poker for me right here.
What do you think, Robin? Can you make it?
Well, we're going to try to make it. We can go within 2 to go with reasonable fuel mileage, and we've been talking to them since lap 100 on saving fuel, so we'll see.
How do you save fuel when you're in the lead?
Hell, I don't know.
I think we're about to find out.
Two-time champion of this race, Rusty Wallace in front with 5 laps to go.
You see Rusty right in front of Wally Dallenbach right there. That actually helps his fuel mileage. If he can get him up close behind him, that'll streamline that car and actually get a little better fuel mileage if he can work with him.
Dick Burke.
Gary Dehart, how big a gamble is this deal? You guys going to make it?
We've got it figured when we probably run out on the last lap, but I think we'll make it.
We think we'll make it.
The question is, will Rusty make it?
Yeah, that's the deal. Rusty's right ahead of the 5 car.
Will Rusty Wallace become a 3-time winner of this 400? Ken Schrader has just pitted and returned. Splash of fuel, about 4 seconds, and back out onto the track. Wallace in these final moments. And he turned this into an economy run and bring it home.
Lots of times it comes down to this here at Michigan.
There's your interval. There goes Terry Labonte in second. There's not much of an interval there. He may have time to move in on Rusty Wallace.
I still think that Terry is serving fuel, not thinking that Rusty could make it.
Look at that race record. Shattered thus far today. But can anybody get to the finish line? We know that those guys have taken on a splash, Ken. Now is the question of whether Wallace and Terry Labonte can. Rusty Wallace, let's not forget, he knows this track well. In 1988, when he won here, his first super speedway win, he took it away from Bill Elliott in a great race.
And now Jimmy Spencer is up to 3rd. He hasn't stopped yet either.
And there's Jimmy Spencer, and he seems very comfortable just riding this one out, waiting to see what happens to Rusty Wallace and Texas Terry Labonte. Wallace using Wally Dallenbach in the Bud Moore number 15 very gingerly here as he tries to get around. And remember that Dallenbach is a lap down, being shown in 13th position. The 2-car of Wallace, the 5 and the 23, all pitted together at lap 148. At 148.
Which meant they had 52 more laps to go. That's a little over 100 miles. That is stretching it.
Down to the final moments on this one. It's not one of those stand up and yell and scream. It's stand up and bite your fingernails.
I'm not sure about that. You see the 5 car of Terry Labonte moving in. That's the 3rd car in the screen right there. He's really moving in a hurry.
Here it comes. Last lap. Has Wallace got enough to get there? Looking back, you see Terry Labonte right there in 2nd spot.
Sterling Marlin just passed Jimmy Spencer for 3rd.
Down the backstretch, final time. Still steady. Not a sign of a burp on that number 2.
This is the corner that matters. He comes off under power. He can knock it in neutral and almost win the race coasting.
He's going to do it.
And moving up is Labonte. But having this field covered, the 44th career win for Rusty Wallace happens today in the 28th annual Michigan 400. Talk about strategy. That pit crew right there had as much to do with this one as the man at the keyboard. A great victory for Robin Pemberton, a great victory for Rusty Wallace, his 3rd in the Michigan 400. And Terry Labonte climbs ever closer to Earnhardt in those Winston Cup standings, as does Jeff Gordon.
And Bobby Labonte, we speculated on him. He has run out of gas. He's coasting across the start-finish line here right now. He didn't quite make it.
We'll give you the rundown on those entire standings. Here's Terry Labonte. Bobby Labonte running out just at the finish. But the 44th career win is Rusty's. And here's Bobby just kind of easing it around now. Need to hitchhike home. Rusty Wallace has done it. And Earnhardt's lead is trimmed to 15 points over Terry Labonte after this 400.
Put 700 of the world's most powerful horses together, and what do you get? You get out of the way. The Budweiser Ken Schrader stock car. See you at the races.
To get the most out of this Indy car, Patrick Racing put Scott Pruitt behind the wheel. They built a team that could get it in and out of the pits in the blink of an eye. And they chose a battery they can depend on to get it started. The Duralast battery from AutoZone. The same Duralast you can depend on to start your car. So don't settle for anything less. The Duralast battery. Power you can depend on.
These days, you're working harder than ever. You need a truck that does, too. Don't move. Introducing the all-new 1997 Ford F-150. With even more horsepower and torque, and all the legendary strength of an F-Series.
Better get to the Grand Canyon before we do.
The all-new Ford F-150.
When cars raced at an awesome 5 miles per hour, Mobil Oil was there. When a race car broke 100, Mobil was in it. Mobil was in the winner of the first race across America. And since then, Mobil has been in more Indy 500 winners than any other oil in the history of Indy. So if you think that all oils are alike, think about something. At Mobil, we've been changing oil for over 125 years.
.6 miles around, 33-degree banking the turns, 190-mile-per-hour action, the wildest super speedway. NASCAR's best, tangled with the monster track, the Die Hard 500, Sunday, July 28th. And coming up next, CBS Sports takes you to Memphis, Tennessee for live final round coverage of the FedEx St. Jude Classic. That's next here on CBS Sports. And right now to Victory Lane with Mike Joy and Rusty Wallace.
Well, it just dumped the last can here in Victory Lane. It was a Miller can, but it was water, not gas. You didn't need it. I asked Robin, how do you conserve gas when you're in the lead? And he says, I don't know. How'd you do it?
Well, I tell you, the car handled really good today, and a couple things fell right in our hand. I don't think we had the most horsepower today. That's by far. There's a lot of guys had us beat there. But we were getting killer gas mileage. And usually when you get a lot of gas mileage, you know the power's like that. So, but it worked out for me today. Robin kept hollering, save fuel, save fuel. So I was running park throttle through the corners, like getting out of the gas for early. And that last pit stop, man, I bet I run just 3/4 speed, and Terry Labonte's doing the same thing. And she's still running when I pulled in, so we'll see how much gas in it.
Robin, jump on in here. I know you're a little soaking wet thanks to your crew, but you guys must have a lot of trust in one another for you to be able to say, stay out there and pedal it, and for you to be able to say, well, aren't they going to catch me and pass me? How about it, you two?
Well, I tell you, we looked at some things we did earlier. You know, Darlington was just the start of, you know, learning about the fuel mileage thing. We started this plan with 102 laps to go. We started talking about it at halfway, you know, and it's a lot of it's luck, and a lot of it is the guy who listens, and you know, the guys in the crew that are doing a good job.
Well, Rusty, today you trusted him all the way to the bank.
Well, it worked out really good. And I'd just like to thank all the sponsors, Miller, Mobil, Meade, Fleetwood, all the guys. The Goodyear tires were good, and Unical for having some gas to make it to the end. But I'd like to dedicate this race to my Uncle Manny. He lost his life with cancer last week, and it was a special race to win. His wife's here, and it was a neat deal. But a wonderful race. That's 3 now. But even if we wouldn't run out of gas, this is a good top 3 car today. Gordon was strong, and you know, I don't know how strong I would have been. I was pedaling it pretty hard and let the 28 and the rest of them by me. So she's a hot rod. This is PC1. It was his first out. It was a real good car, and we won the second time out with this. So I'm proud of it.
Congratulations. Let's go to Dick Bergeron.
With Ernie Irvin at the gas pump, and this thing sure needs some gas, but you proved today that you can really run fast at Michigan.
Well, I mean, you know, everybody else had the doubt. I mean, I didn't think there was going to be any problem. I mean, if I had remembered the wreck, I think it would be tough to come back here and race. But I didn't remember it. I mean, probably my worst problem is I drive into the corner too deep, and you know, if I was worried about the accident I had, I wouldn't be doing that.
No doubt about it. Ernie Irvin is back. Ken?
Alan Kawicki used to love to quote Vince Lombardi. Obstacles are what you see when you take your eyes off the goal line. Ernie Irvin didn't take his eyes off it for a moment today. Congratulations, Ernie, on a great 5th place.
Before cars had phones, cup holders, or even roofs, Mobil Oil was there. When Lindbergh crossed the Atlantic, Mobil was on board. Mobil was in the world's first minivans, in the first space shuttle, and in the tanks of Desert Storm. So if you think that all oils are alike, think about something. At Mobil, we've been changing oil for over 125 years.
Every few years, the world gathers to witness an unparalleled sports spectacle, the Truckathlon. And to compete, you have to have a Ford Ranger 4x4, because you'll need its switch-on 4-wheel drive for truck long jump. Its 4-wheel anti-lock brakes for truck discus. And its whopping 4-liter V6 for truck hurdles. The Ford Ranger 4x4. You can't win without one.
Next event, truck pole vault. Yes!
In Denton, Texas, a lot of folks who work on their cars go to AutoZone because they know they're going to find quality parts, low prices, great selection, and good people like Tom Robinson. You see, Tom's the kind of guy who really likes to help folks out. And since he's been around cars most all his life, he knows his parts, too. Oh, sure, there are other parts stores in town, but when it comes to getting the right part, the right price, and good advice from folks like Tom, there's just no place better than AutoZone.
I always use my favorite steak sauce. It's tradition. Every once in a while, I'm in the mood for something different. Something thick, robust, and hearty. Yeah, all right.
New A1 Thick and Hearty.
Who do you think you are, Mr. Big Stuff? Who do you think you are? Oh, yeah.
Terry Labonte was born to run. He's won the Watkins Glen 200 the last 2 years. Next Sunday, he's going for 3. And CBS Sports will bring it to you live, flag-to-flag coverage of the Watkins Glen 200. That's next Sunday, starting at 12 noon Eastern. And that will be followed by the NASCAR trucks on the mile at Nazareth, Pennsylvania for 200 miles of competition. Big doubleheader. You going to be there, Baker?
You bet I'm going to be there. I cannot wait. I love the trucks.
Tonight on CBS begins with 60 Minutes. If his brother was president of Mexico and he got filthy rich, why should you care? Well, you probably wouldn't if they didn't use your tax money to keep the whole country afloat. 60 Minutes tonight. Then it's Murder, She Wrote, followed by the CBS Sunday movie, The Yearling, starring Peter Strauss and Gene Smart. That's all tonight on CBS. Let's go to David Hobbs.
Well, I'm down in the motorhome with Dale Jarrett, broken rib, broken kneecap, and you had a fine race. That fuel cost you dearly towards the end there, but otherwise you must have been really happy with the way the afternoon went.
Yeah, we had an awesome car. Todd and the guys did a terrific job. Just hated for the people at Ford and Ford Quality Care and Ford Credit. This is a big race for us, and we were running second and just tried to cut it a little too close, I guess, and ran out of fuel. But, you know, they do a good job in the pits, and, you know, things work out. Sometimes you win that, and sometimes you don't. But we had a good race car, and that was good.
Your qualifying wasn't great, but in the race, you must have really got the car tweaked up and went really terrific. Was it good?
Yeah, it was right from the start. I mean, we made up a lot of time in a hurry from the start, and Ernie did the same thing. We had 2 good cars. And I thought it might be a day for Robert Yates Racing to finish 1-2. Just wasn't quite to be, but we've got some more races to go. Awful proud of these guys and what they do. And before I forget it, I want to wish my wife happy 12th anniversary yesterday. Great 12 years. Hope we got a lot more to go.
When I came in there, I said, how do you feel with those broken bones? He said, how do you think? Down to Dick Berggren.
Jimmy Spencer with a great run today. 4th, his best ever Michigan finish, best finish of the year. But, boy, at the end, you must have wanted to run with Sterling Marlin really bad.
I really did, Dick, you know, and Travis kept saying, bite your tongue, let him go, let him go. And, you know, it's just a tribute to the guys they've been building me really good race cars. I can't say enough about Cecil's doing a great job in the shop with all the crew, the Fab guys building me some great race cars. Peter Gall, the guy's building great motors. Donnie just making great calls on the car. We were off a little bit all day, top 10. We struck the gas mileage right and come out with a top 5. Hi to my mother-in-law. She watches it all the time. My mom and dad, I love yous all. Thank you. And wait, my 2 children.
And at the end, the driver was cool, and that was really important, Ken Squire.
And we'll be back to take a look at the final standings on the running order today in the 28th annual Michigan 400 in a moment.
Goodyear AquaTread revolutionized wet traction design. Now Goodyear introduces the first tire with a lifetime tread life warranty. The new all-season InfiniTread. Its tread is guaranteed for as long as you own your car. Call 1-800-GOODYEAR.
Right now, get a $40 introductory manufacturer's rebate from Goodyear when you buy 4 InfiniTread radials, Goodyear's longest-wearing passenger tire. That's $40 on 4 Goodyear InfiniTreads. But hurry, this Goodyear offer ends soon.
When cars raced at an awesome 5 miles per hour, Mobil Oil was there. When a race car broke 100, Mobil was in it. Mobil was in the winner of the first race across America. And since then, Mobil has been in more Indy 500 winners than any other oil in the history of Indy. So if you think that all oils are alike, think about something. At Mobil, we've been changing oil for over 125 years.
The new Kawasaki Vulcan 1500 Classic, with the biggest V-twin ever to hit the asphalt, you've never felt anything like it.
There are those who worry about the future. And those who don't have to.
What'd you get? Chicken nugget. Mine? Chicken nugget. No.
Wendy's 5-piece crispy chicken nuggets are such a great deal at 99 cents.
Oh, what?
Everybody's eating them.
At 99 cents, you might want to order 2.
Get 5 Wendy's chicken nuggets now, just 99 cents every day.
CBS Sports coverage of the Michigan 400 has been sponsored by Mobil Motor Oil. At Mobil, we've been changing oil for over 125 years. Goodyear, #1 in tires. And by Kawasaki. Let the good times roll.
Look at the final standings today. Rusty Wallace has established a new 400-mile record at 166 miles an hour, 6 miles over the old mark. And there you see the final standings. Great run for Ernie Irvin back there in 5th position today. What a remarkable story.
The standings were scrambled a little bit there at the end. Bobby Labonte had a top 5 going. He ran out of gas. He did remain in the lead lap, though, but you'll see there that he finished in 12th position.
Wally Dallenbach with a good run for Bud Moore in 13th spot. Bobby Hillen right up in there. That completes the cars up in the lead lap of today's race. Todd Bodine relegated to 20th when it was over in the Bill Elliott car. Really good race all day long. Darrell Waltrip in trouble early, a couple laps down, was never able to make it up. And as you look down through here, these cars were more than 1 lap down as we got to the finish. Well, watching Rusty Wallace out here reminds me, Ned, he's of the same mold as a friend of yours and mine, the late Bobby Isaac. Brave race driver, but Wallace has said you got to be more than brave, you got to be smart to win these things, and that was part of Isaac. I always thought that was certainly true here today.
Well, he was very smart. He drove a smart race. His pit crew worked out the strategy just right to get the fuel mileage that he needed. He was right up there in the top 5 most of the last half of the race at least, and as he said, he had a good handling race car, but the fuel mileage is the thing that got him the win.
Fun race to do, wasn't it, buddy?
Fun race, but don't forget Sterling Marlin. Had they had a caution, he was a rocket ship. He and Jeff Gordon both.
That's the best part of racing. 40 guys started, and there are 39 ifs.
whenever they're over. So we thank you so much for being with us for this event. For Ned Jarrett, Buddy Baker, Dick Berggren, David Hobbs, and Mike Joy, Ken Squire saying so long from the Michigan International Speedway, where Rusty Wallace has won for the 3rd time in the Michigan 400. Next Sunday, CBS Sports presents a racing doubleheader. First, we'll take you to upstate New York for live flag-to-flag coverage of the Watkins Glen Grand National 200. Then it's off to Pennsylvania for the NASCAR Truck Series as we bring you live coverage of the Nazareth 200. Coming up next, final round of the FedEx St. Jude Classic live here on CBS Sports. The 1996 Michigan 400 has been a presentation of CBS Sports.